Well, look who's back for another round of truth-telling with your boy, Handsome Chief. Hope you brought your coffee because we're about to dive deep.
What the? Jimmy, what the hell was that? Listen, your brain is actually 15 seconds behind or right now. What the hell's going on, Jimmy? Welcome to Mornings in the Lab, where
when something negative comes up.
Building muscle improves blood flow.
From squirting to squirreling.
Start small, build up, and expand from there.
Be entertained by fun over here.
How have I slept? Has my sleep been good? That's
Regret doesn't come from breaking the rules, you guys. Jimmy, what the hell was that? Who is that dude? Good morning, everybody. You got the Uncle Chief. The Uncle Chief. Ah, yeah. The Handsome Chief getting back after here. Welcome back to Yep. Yes. Welcome back to another lively edition of Mornings Alive with Keith and Friends. My words were stuck. Your favorite R-rated daily dose of real talk. Motivating content and entertaining conversations. You know the drill. Yeah, they got to put those headphones in their ear and gently kick the kids out of the room because I might offend them. I just warned you. I warned you. I might fucking offend them. Oh! Or the Yeti might. The Yeti might offend them because we got Yeti. We got the brand new co-host on the show. The White Yeti's going to move his way through the show here. And guys, don't hit the snooze button. Ian Mai hasn't. No, he got his ass out of bed and he read the IKEA instructions. How do I know? He's in the green room on both sides. Yeah, and not everybody can. I'm telling you guys, I send the same instructions to every single one of you mother. And some of you get it and some of you don't. Ian Mai got it. Oh yeah, he's joining us here at about 15-minute mark. We're going to talk about some fun stuff with Ian Mai joining us. I didn't ask him where he's joining us from, but I know he's joining from somewhere on the planet. Yes, sorry, baby. And we got C. Marty here hanging out in the green room as well, bringing him in today. Today's show's packed, and here's what's on top for you. In the morning loop, we're revealing why your brain might always be running 15 seconds behind reality. So what I said 15 seconds ago is catching up to you right now. What did I say? I said Ian Mai is going to be here. Yeah, true story. Oh, yeah, baby. We're also going to give you a rapid rundown of everything that happened in the last 23 hours. Oh, yeah, that's the morning loop. Get it, baby, get it, baby, get it, baby. Then brace yourselves for the deep dive. We're going to unpack how fuck. You know what? Jimmy, let's just wait for that. Oh, wait a minute. That's procrastinating. Believe it or not, you want to procrastinate? It might be your superpower, but don't tell John Anderson. Don't tell John Anderson. No, baby. Plus, we got the accountability check-in coming. Let's transform those days lost to procrastination into victories. Remember, we're here to help you start your day right with laughter, insights, and the daily accountability you crave. Coming up in the center stage, we got the ADHD. Holy, Jimmy, there's a fucking squirrel over here. My ADHD is getting in the way here. Oh my God, Ian Mai is here. Maybe he'll help me with my ADHD today. Speaking of, hey, Matt Roof did, Maddie, I'm sorry, Maddie, wasn't connecting ADHD with Matt Roof, but Matt Roof dropped a bomb of an episode today on Kindness Rising. Yeah, before my show. Anyways, back to Ian Mai. He's coming up later on the show, dropping real talk on why, fucking squirrel. Oh man, I gotta get back here. I just keep running off the camera, Jimmy. Are you ready to stack those habits? I'm telling you, you gotta sharpen this morning mental health routine. Dial into your man's motivation. Good. Because it's time to kick things off. Let's kick it off into the morning loop. We got a big show. Listen, anybody calling us a podcast? We're not a podcast. Let's get into the Jimmy. Let's get into the morning loop. Marty. Oh, there's nobody there, Jimmy. I got nobody there. Oh, my goodness. Johnny must be on the bidet, or Johnny must be cutting the cigar before he gets on the show here today. Anyways, I was going to start the show, but the part where it says Keith and friends, yeah, the and friends part didn't show up. No, it's just mornings in the lab with Keith here today. Let's get to the comments, Jimmy, before we bring in those yahoos here. I see Lady Drew. I know Lady Drew joined the show this morning with Matt Roof. I know Adam Holroyd joined the show this morning with Matt Roof. Good morning, you guys. I appreciate you guys hanging out with us this morning in the lab and getting up and getting after it and so forth. All right, so listen, let's keep it going here. You ever felt frustrated? No? Jimmy, we're not going to go there just yet. Not just yet, baby. Nope. We're going to get there when we bring the boys into the lab. You guys ever feel frustrated with a new skill only to find it slipping away the next day? Well, coming up later on in the show, we are going to get into Arnold's advice, exploring an easily scientifically proven technique to boost your learning speed simply by closing your eyes after practice. Oh yeah, that's it coming up. We're gonna get some Arnold's advice coming up. Jimmy, let's bring in the man, you know that guy, John Anderson. Let's bring him up. Let's see what he has to say here today. What's going on, John Anderson?
Good morning, brother. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing today?
What I would say today's kind of like that aftermath. You know, today's the first day nobody's here, and it's been basically Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So we've had an amazing time. And
nice.
Right now it's almost like when you're a 5-year-old and Christmas is over.
Oh yes.
You know.
So is all 18 folks gone? Left the house?
Everybody's gone. Yeah, the last 4 left yesterday.
Yeah,
actually, the last 6 left yesterday.
I see you're all back in you're back in the studio, eh?
Yep. Because we had people sleeping in here. Every freaking room was covered.
I know you did. So hey, we got a big show here today, Johnny. We are the show, not the podcast, and I invite you to sit back and enjoy the first hour. Uncle Keith the Creeper put a lot of work into it last hour or so. I'm sorry, last 24 hours, and it is rocking.
Are you calling yourself the Creeper now?
My family does. They're like, "What's Uncle Keith?" I'm like, "Yeah, absolutely, Uncle Keith the Creeper here, hosting the big old morning show, 8:00 Eastern Time, YouTube Live, X, all those other platforms." Jimmy, you know what, Johnny? We got a new co-host today. It's called the White Yeti, and I'm going to invite everybody to join the conversation here today, guys. So hey, listen, you are all invited to join the live conversation. And hey, White Yeti, how can people do just that?
You can join the show LIV right now. The number is 431-300-3005. Call, text, or leave a voicemail.
And hey, Yeti, while you're at it, I think folks can get involved as well. How else can folks get involved while you're at it?
Join the Mornings in the Lab community by hitting subscribe. If you pay, Keith promises to get me better clothes.
Yeah, speaking of new clothes there, we got a store. We got a brand new store set up right now, the Morning Store. And I invite you to check out the Morning Store.
It's at the Morning Store. Keith, I might as well do everything for you.
Yeah, this fucking White Yeti guy's hanging out here helping us host the show here today, Marty. How's it going, Marty? What's shaking, brother? Good to have you. And how was your move, Mr. Christopher Martin? Marty's due to the experience here, getting his audio all sorted up. What's going on, Marty?
He's working on it.
Yeah, he's figuring it out. Well, so
Hey, here's a little food for thought as Marty comes on.
Yeah.
So basically, we have the show, and this is us for sure.
We have the show, and Marty's trying to figure out how to get on the show.
But they're things like this.
Can you hear me?
There he is. He made it.
All right, cool. What's up, guys?
What's up, Marty? Oh, Marty's here, Johnny.
Oh, yeah. Fuck you guys. No, I'm playing.
Marty, what were you saying? Johnny, what were you saying, brother?
Honestly, I forgot.
Oh, yeah. David, hey, what's going on, David?
That's rare. That's rare. That doesn't happen.
I just wanted, before you got here, brother, I was just explaining how this is the first day with nobody here after like 5 days. So Terry and I are worked.
Johnny's kind of like in that what's that mode? He's like in hungover by just food and family experiences. Johnny's just nice to have a quiet day today. Johnny, you're just like, oh yeah, I love everybody. Yeah. Have quiet today. Eh?
We had I think you were kind of in and out of the show. We had 18 people here for like 4 days. Yeah.
Whew.
Good times.
What was the occasion? What was the occasion?
Dude, it's 4th of July.
Hold on. Let's see if the man's brain will fire up any faster than mine this morning. What happened last weekend?
Oh, it was July 4th. You're right. Oh, you're right. My bad, man.
Hey, coming up, we got Ian Mai joining us, executive ADHD and impulse control coach, helping me not chase the squirrel off the screen.
Yo, stop that squirrel joke, man.
Fucking squirrel, man. I got their squirrels.
Yo, Johnny, he's been doing this ADHD squirrel joke before you even got here. I mean,
but it still works. This
guy here, man.
The squirrel. I'm gonna honestly. I thought it was saying scroll. What's he saying? Squirrel?
I was saying scrotum. Squirrel. Hey, David, I see your comments or question. My wife likes to make 40 Jimmy Dean breakfast sandwiches in the morning. I don't mind it by the time I'm up. She's finished them all. Maybe it's time to get a new wife, David. That might be just what you're looking for. Ian Mai joining us coming up on the account.
We need a women morning in the lab. The wife has to watch that show.
Yeah. That's exactly right here. We got Ian Mai coming up in a number of minutes here on the accountability check-in. And but before we do that, I want to get speaking of getting. Oh no, hold on. Did you guys know? So Marty, you've been out moving for the last number of days and getting after things.
No, I was out of town.
Oh yeah, you were traveling. Nice. Go see Dad in Chicago?
Bahamas.
Oh, you're going to have to tell us some Bahamas vacation. But before we do that, did you know you're not actually seeing the world in real time?
What if everything you've ever seen is already gone? Every blink, every moment, an echo from the past. Your eyes aren't seeing reality. They're remembering it. 15 seconds behind. Soon you'll see the truth.
You ever felt frustrated mastering a new skill, boys? Arnold's Advice coming up, only to find it slipping away the next day. Today in Arnold's Advice coming up during the morning loop, we're going to explore an easy, scientifically proven technique to boost your learning speed simply by closing your eyes after practice. So guys, looks like we have the wrong thing running, Jimmy, as we're figuring out our stuff here. Guys, so listen, we got I got a segment here coming up called Arnold's Advice. Recent research shows that revealing with your eyes closed for just 15 minutes after practicing a motor skill can lead to 15% improvement in learning compared to engaging in distractions. This process enhances procedural memory. So basically, I found some content from our good old buddy Arnold Schwarzenegger. Guys, after you finish something, what the science suggests is dedicating 15 minutes to sit quietly with your eyes closed, avoiding all distractions. Johnny, do you subscribe to this practice? Marty, do you subscribe to it as well?
I guess it just depends on, like if it's something that I was working really hard to nail down, and all of a sudden, boom, I got it. Okay, let's backtrack. What did we do? I mean, there's no question if I'm piecing something together that was challenging, I'm going to have some form of I can't say I'd sit in silence or sit and close my eyes, but I would be definitely reviewing and make sure that everything that I had done was getting in my subconscious. So I think the concept is the same.
Let's we have an opener here. Jimmy, let's run the opener from this segment so we can have a little conversation about it. You have it set up there, Jimmy? Good morning, Danielle. I see you there in the comments here this morning on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. Jimmy, do you have that segment to run?
What if I told you there's a simple technique that could boost your learning by 15%? Recent research reveals that taking just 15 minutes to rest with your eyes closed after practicing a new skill can dramatically accelerate your progress. This isn't about sleep or meditation. It's about giving your brain the quiet space it needs to consolidate what you've just learned. When you close your eyes and eliminate distractions, your procedural memory gets to work, strengthening those new neural pathways. The results speak for themselves. Whether you're learning piano, perfecting your golf swing, or mastering a new skill at work, this simple 15-minute rest period can give you a measurable edge. It's science-backed, it's simple, and it works.
There you go, guys. It's science-backed and it works. Do something, sit back and digest it for 50 minutes. Guys, I have a bad habit. I do something and I rush to the next one. You know what I think is I probably forgot everything I did. And I see Marty nodding as well. Marty, you do the same thing?
Yeah, I was going to say I sit in silence to one, acknowledge the win for the day.
You do,
because oh yeah, you got to.
Yeah,
you got to. And two, just so I don't move on. Like I want to reflect and learn what did I do right. Why is this effective? I don't want to just go on to the next thing. That's just me.
That takes a skill, man. And I'll tell you something. I learned it yesterday. Bernard, our good member in the community here, as we were going through yesterday's show, and Jim, we had nothing but technical issues on yesterday's show. It ended, and Bernard was like, "Hey, man, reflect on what worked and learn from what didn't." And I was like, "Oh, what a succinct message there." And that's exactly what you said, Marty, wasn't it? Because when you're done something, you'll sit back and reflect on it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's kind of a habit right there, brother. I mean, as a problem solver, that's all you're doing is categorizing different actions and thoughts. Yes, this worked. No, that didn't work. This might work for something else. It's constant gathering of data.
Yeah, I did it this morning. Like I said, I just got back from out of town. So what I did was I wrote down like 4 critical tasks I need to do today. And I just had to sit for a second, like, hold on, that's a win. You got to do that every day. So I don't catch myself scrambling later in the day. So
yeah. I have a bad habit, and so I joke about the ADHD thing because I go from one thing to the next thing to the next thing, and if I don't intentionally pause to take it in, I will go through my day going, "Oh, right, that happened." And I had to get really good at even taking my meetings, you guys, and not making them full 60-minute meetings, right? Making them 45, making them 50s. Chopping down and assume time so that I can take some time to reflect on it.
That's because you like to talk too, man.
Well, that too, yeah. But the reality is, so with Marty, here's the thing. I think we naturally go default 60-minute meeting. We got to fill it up when maybe the meeting's 45 minutes, take 10, 15 minutes of reflection.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's a good idea.
Right. So,
because I'm the same way. You might fill some time that's unnecessary. And you might just get to talking about nothing, and then it cuts into other stuff in your day.
Well, it's funny. I met with a fellow yesterday. I didn't even say hello, and the fellow was, "Hey, I got 17 minutes." I'm like, okay. Hey, what?
Respect.
Well, I mean, but you got to think about it, brother. When it comes down to it, we've learned all these ideas that, okay, we need to have a meeting, we need to do this, and it's like we realize, okay, I have this much time for this meeting. I mean, how long did it take? It took somebody like Jeff Bezos to come along and say, "Hey, this is ridiculous. We're looking at this completely backwards."
Yeah.
When it comes down to it, if you're really efficient with your time, it's a task that has to be done. Maybe it's done in 30 seconds. Maybe it's done in 3 hours. But it's this idea of us we weren't taught how important our time was, so we don't protect it.
It's so true. It's so true. So, guys, listen, we'd love to hear from you. Let's share your experience with the technique. Has it improved your skill acquisition? Drop those stories and reflections in the chat or comment section below. Running a few minutes behind here, Jimmy. Let's get to the outro on the stinger, on the morning loop stinger, Jimmy. Let's keep the show going as we get to the accountability check-in. Let's get after it, Jimmy.
So the next time you finish a practice session, don't immediately jump to your phone or the next task. Instead, find a quiet spot, close your eyes, and give your brain those crucial 15 minutes to lock in your progress. It's a simple habit that could transform how quickly you master new skills. Remember, the best athletes and performers know that rest isn't the opposite of progress. It's part of the process. Start using this technique today.
What are your absolute morning non-negotiables?
Easy. Listen to the best morning show on the planet, Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends, 8 a.m. Eastern, every day on YouTube.
Okay, Smartass has some kind of accountability check-in next. Let's see what Smarty Pants has to say.
All right, accountability check-in. Having some fun with you guys, upping the production quality on the show, not the podcast. Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends, getting after it. I used to lose days of productivity procrastination until I learned these 4 ways to avoid it. I could waste a whole day telling myself I'd do it later. I'll get up at 5. I'll do it some other time. I'll start at 1:15. I'll do it later this week. I'll always just put it off. The next thing you knew, it was dark and I was getting nothing done. The day was gone. And the next day I do it all over again, despite promising myself otherwise. And guys, I've got to tell you, man, it's not just me. We've all done it. It's so easy because it's comfortable, but all that comfort, it's a thief. I'm telling you guys, it steals your progress. It steals your momentum. And honestly, it's a poison for your brand. So here are 4 ways I invite you to consider learning about avoiding procrastination. Do it right now. Not one day, not someday, not wait till later. Discipline over motivation. Develop a habit, self-awareness, and mindset shifts. Leverage that public accountability. And then you got to ask yourself, do I still procrastinate? Of course I do. But I catch it much sooner and I get myself out of it before I waste an entire day. So gentlemen, I ask you and I invite you, if procrastination is holding you back, I invite you to check in with yourself and what are you avoiding and why? Notice the pattern, call yourself out, choose some action. And coming up next, we have our first guest on the show and his name is Ian Mai. And Jimmy, why don't we have Mr. White Yeti do the intro for us?
Do I actually have to do everything for you?
Get a fucking job, man.
Guest turns people, takes their biggest weaknesses into their secret weapon. He's not just even a fitness coach, despite talking about protein all day. Meet the ADHD coach, guys, who's proving that messy action breaks perfect planning every single time. We've got Ian Mai joining us, executive ADHD coach, former tech sales guy, and self-proclaimed LinkedIn comment comedian. Ian works with highly successful professionals who are quietly struggling with ADHD, helping them transform overwhelm into peak performance. He's worked with over 150 people to break free from impulsive behaviors and about to launch something revolutionary for couples dealing with ADHD. Jimmy, let's bring him up. The man, all the way from, I'm not sure, Ian Mai. What's up, Ian?
Hey, good morning.
What's up, Ian?
How are you, pal?
What's up, Ian? How are you, brother?
Doing real good. I have just got like the biggest hit of crack from this show. Who needs Adderall or stimulants when you can just wake up to this? I am for it right now.
That's awesome, man. That's a great soundbite. I appreciate that. Where are you joining us from, brother?
Coming in from Austin, Texas.
Oh, yes. The good old conservative, moderate state of Austin, Texas. I love all my brothers. And I got to tell you, Ian, when we look at our ICP, our avatar of our men, they're all in Austin. They're all in Texas. Yeah, all these awesome men that just kind of stand right in the middle. You guys got blue shirts, red underwear, and you guys all make good decisions.
That tracks too well for me. So yeah, if you got an Austin audience, then they got to come rock with me and get weird, put some heavy on their shoulders. Love that,
dude. So you call yourself the LinkedIn comment comedian. What the hell does that mean, Ian Mai?
So I mean, honestly, the best way that you can give back to people is laugh at their jokes, laugh at their comments. With LinkedIn, it's all about getting an audience. You need to get attention. The algorithm is a wicked beast. So being in somebody's comments and making jokes, one, brings levity because the platform's too serious and I don't take myself seriously at all. But two, it gets more people looking at you because then they're like, hey, that guy's funny. I'm going to go check out his stuff. Honestly, you'll draw way more attraction to your stuff from your comments than you ever will your posts. Like I 4 and 5x my impressions on comments than I ever do on any of the posts that I create, protein included.
Dude, I was just going to say, man, Marty, Johnny, this guy's favorite content to share with his audience is actually protein. Johnny, not protein tips. Marty, not protein recipes, literally just protein. He's like, yeah, I got an 8-letter word. I just want to drop it everywhere. Just protein. What's with your fascination with protein, Ian Mai?
Well, so what's interesting about it is that for ADHD, we actually use way more amino acids in our brain than the average person does, than the neurotypical person. So only about 10% of the protein you eat is actually used for muscle synthesis. I can see a lot of muscle in this call, so I'm in good company. But only about
this makes a lot of sense, brother, because I found this insatiable love for protein when I was fucking young, and I've never let go of it.
I believe it. Now you know why.
Now you know why, John Anderson.
Oh yeah, no, I mean 100%. You know, I was back when I was coming up. There was you didn't have all these fucking letters. They just pushed you in the class where everybody was slower.
Yeah,
but yeah, it makes a lot of. I mean, literally, when I discovered protein, my whole life started changing.
I believe that. I believe that very much. So that's the thing for me when it comes to ADHD coaching is a lot of people have kind of stumbled upon ways that they manage and treat their ADHD and become superheroes. But for me, I have to understand why. Like, why is it that the protein matters? Why is it that I need to move my body so much? Why is it that I have all these practices that seem to help? I have done the work to try to make sure that you understand what actually does the trick.
Yeah.
So do you find that spending too much time in the why distracts you from the how? Because that's something I'm really on top of, man. I'm not, the why better be fucking really, really important, or I'm not even going to fucking look at that thing.
Yeah, the why is critical. You aren't going to make a single step unless you understand the why. And especially for the ADHD brain, we're constantly doing this calculation of what's the upside? Why does this matter? Why do I care about this thing? But then we also check what the brakes are. What's the blockers? Why am I not doing this thing? We do this calculation so fast that we don't even think about it. We're not even aware, why am I blocked to this? Talk about procrastination. Why am I avoiding this particular task? Is it because I'm afraid of rejection, the criticism that's going to come from it? Like, why am I not doing the dishes? What's the upside?
Gotcha. So we're talking about two different whys. We're talking about the why where someone sits down, spends an afternoon trying to figure out why he does something, but never takes initiative on what the how is to fix the fucking problem.
Yeah.
You're talking about these micro fucking whys your brain's count we don't even know is there.
The tiniest, tiniest little incremental changes happen in the why.
Yeah. I can see that, but you're agreeing that sitting down and wasting half a day trying to figure out why when you should be actually working on the how is not part of the formula. You agree with that?
Well, so the how is what's the smallest, most incremental, messiest step towards the how. If I try to come up with what are the 100 steps, the ADHD brain is going to go.
I need one.
No, that's too much. I need one, and we need one.
Fall forward, baby. Literally 100%. Fall forward. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just take a fucking step in that direction with the idea you're going to fall. Get up and do it again.
Well, that's the lovely thing about running is you're technically falling forward really quickly and catching yourself and pushing off of it. That's what running is. You're falling forward, but you're explosively pushing yourself back up even harder and harder.
That's interesting.
That's forward progress.
Keith, John, and Marty with our guest Ian Mai this morning on Mornings in the Live with Keith and Friends. I see your comments down there at B Drive. Good to have you on the show this morning. Mimic, I see you there. Hi. I do have ADHD, but I'm trying to outlet it. I'm trying to outbeat it. Ian, for our viewers who might be wondering if they have undiagnosed ADHD.
Oh, so you're saying
might give them clarity.
How do I assess if?
Hold on, just so you know, bro, Ian, he froze, so he didn't quite finish his question.
He does it every week.
It looked like he was done, but he just froze. So go ahead, Keith.
Yeah. So if you have it, how do you know that you have the ADHD, and how could I find clarity in my response?
I mean, the simplest answer is this: if you say I have an addictive personality, you're very likely to have ADHD.
As simple as that.
Simple as that. That's it. That's the thing.
So to John's point, Ian, years ago we didn't stamp labels or letters on the back of everybody's name, but yet it seems like, with all respect, it seems like everybody has these 4 letters attached to them now, and I don't want to be dismissive of those that legitimately struggle with this. How do we delineate the difference?
Yeah, so I think when you say everybody has a little ADHD, the biggest components of ADHD is dopamine dysregulation and emotional dysregulation. Everybody can possibly have that. We live in a world of distraction with the phones and the media and all the things. Like, we can all create dopamine dysregulation, and we also can potentially struggle with actually navigating real emotional stuff that we need to deal with.
Yeah.
So anybody can struggle in that way.
Yeah.
But for the ADHD brain is how much does my brain turn off to it? My frontal lobe will turn off to something if there's not a big enough dopamine upside to the task and the behavior. And it might be important. It might be something I want to do this. I genuinely in my body want to do this, but my brain just does not turn on to it. I have to learn how to navigate that with ADHD.
So then what's the biggest misconception that people would have about ADHD, and that you every single day, Ian, are waking up and fighting this misconception?
Yeah, the misconception that I have is with people who don't have ADHD think that it's just a lack of discipline, that it's a lack of motivation. I can tell you, I've competed as a bodybuilder. John, you're in good company. I've competed as a bodybuilder. I have discipline. I have the ability to go do hard things. I'm also extremely intelligent. I didn't get diagnosed as a kid because I was a valedictorian in high school, went to college. I was doing well in school. These typical things of, hey, if you're doing bad in school, that must mean you have ADHD, or it must mean you're undisciplined. If you can't study for very long, it must mean because you're not motivated. It must be because you're not focused. You just need to sit and you just need to focus. The ADHD experience makes it to where our brains will literally turn off to some of these important tasks if we've measured and calculated that there's not enough upside for us to actually get this done and for our brains to turn on to it.
Yeah. Keith, John, Marty. Mornings in Live with Keith and friends getting after it. Jimmy, let's get to the fit tip with Marty here, and then we'll keep the conversation going with Ian. We'll bring Ian back, keep the chat going, and then we're going to get into the conversation about mastering the art of procrastination. I got to suspect that somebody who's battling ADHD, procrastination is part of that same sentence here. So let's drop the Jimmy, did we lose Marty here? I think we got Marty stuck with an internet issue, so we'll keep it going here. We'll keep it rock and rolling. Ian, how do you tell someone that has ADHD? How do you tell them to turn their brain on for the right things at the right time?
Yeah. So, I mean, part of it is being very clear about what the blockers are. What is the story I'm telling myself about what the downsides are for me getting this task done? And just being very clear about it, because that's the part where we're digging into and escaping to any other distraction. It's usually because that distraction helps us feel a little bit more safe about the thing that we're trying to avoid. And so, like, for the majority of this is being able to create very clear language of the story I'm telling myself. This sucks. This is the part that I don't like. Here's the downside. I need to be present with it. I need to be able to practice the habit of sitting with that visceral discomfort, and then being able to realize, how can I change my why for what the upside is? How can I sit with and visualize and be very clear about what the potential big things that I'm working towards? And the thing right now is that we can all laugh about, like, oh, I didn't get the dishes done, or that same pile of laundry keeps moving places within my bedroom. That's not what this is. That's not what hyper performance cares about. Like, I'm not going to sit in with how do you adult 101. It's how do I turn this hyper focus on for the things that matter in the time in which it matters, so that I can absolutely have this crazy amount of focus for my work, for my family when it's time to be with my family, for the things that are actually important to me, that I know how to turn and light my brain onto it.
Ian May dropping nuggets here about ADHD. Let's get to the comments before we go to our deep dive discussion here. And Ian's going to stick around with it. Why procrastination might be your superpower. Before we do that, we got Peaches. What's shaking, Peaches? Always love having you here in the community. Peaches, you make me and Johnny laugh all the time you come in. And Johnny, let's see what Peaches has for us today. I have ADHD. Johnny, if you remember the last time we had a conversation with Peaches, we were talking about face sitting. And we were talking about her uncomfortable journey through life, and we were Peaches, how did that go for you, by the way? We're just kind of curious about how that went for you. You haven't been around for a while. Maybe you've been sitting around. Every pun intended. Anyways, Peaches, I have ADHD. Keep my arm raised as I do chores, like my brain list. If I'm doing laundry, I have to grab or put something in another room. I keep my arm raised, repeating to myself, what am I doing? Interesting. Bernard comes back and says ADHD can also make a highly productive person who, when managing or recognize. Peaches, that's a great idea. And then Peaches coming. Eli, what's going on, man? Wow, man, this is really helpful. Yes, Ian's dropping his nuggets right here in the lab. Ian's an ADHD expert joining us from Austin, Texas today. Jimmy, let's get to the deep dive transition. Then we'll go to the conversation on why procrastination might be your superpower to you guys. Let's do it, Jimmy.
What if your procrastination habit could actually boost your productivity by 40%? Most men feel guilty when they avoid important tasks, thinking they're being lazy or undisciplined. But that guilt might be completely misplaced when you understand the psychology behind strategic procrastination. Studies show that productive procrastinators who engage in beneficial secondary tasks while avoiding primary ones actually maintain higher momentum, reduce stress, and often produce better results than traditional time management approaches. The key is pairing your main task with a secondary beneficial activity and switching strategically. Create a procrastination list of valuable tasks you can default to when avoidance strikes. Stop fighting your procrastination patterns. Start weaponizing them.
Procrastination into a habit stack. So there's many folks, and I was one of them, Johnny, along the way in my journey of life, where I would procrastinate, and then I would get everything done. And then what I learned through time, and I think Ian might be able to relate to this on the ADHD side of things, as I've gone through my journey in life, I've recognized that I've turned it into somewhat of I don't know if it's a skill, but it's a good habit where if I really have to get something done right away, I tack it on what I will call procrastination. So I'll procrastinate and then turn it into something productive. Does that make sense to you, Johnny? You want to talk about it that way?
Kind of. I mean, me personally, once I start to procrastinate, now I've kind of lost. I'm on the slippery slope. So I try to catch myself in there's like that little bit of inner dialogue.
Yes.
That's like that first, it's before it turns into a physical thing. It's like that little flash of maybe some reason why you shouldn't do something goes ripping by your mind. I grab a hold of that fucker and say, no, not today.
Yeah. So, and what about you, Ian? Do you find yourself? So, what I will do is I'll have a big task, and I know I got a bunch of cursory tasks around it, and I stare at the big one, Then it's like somewhere a switch goes. Okay, it's like time to go, and then I get all the little ones done, and the big one happens. But it's like they're linked together. And I see you nodding, Ian. Is there logic in what I'm saying? Do you relate to that kind of experience?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, the biggest thing with the ADHD procrastination, so I'll just speak to that.
Yeah.
That oftentimes, usually the thing that we're procrastinating from is really complex. And for ADHD, working memory is a huge challenge. And so if I have too many tasks that I have to tackle, again, total shut off from the frontal lobe. It's just not showing up for me at all. I can't force myself to do this thing. But if I can minimize the focus of what I'm having in front of me, just focus on the tiniest, smallest task, the celebration of that one task completed gives me enough dopamine that gets to that frontal lobe. And now I've got this momentum to carry me through the rest of the tasks that I need to get done.
So I perhaps I didn't articulate it well enough, but I relate exactly to what you just said. It was happening a couple of days ago. I was building these, so we're increasing the production value of the show, and today we're bringing it to life. Over the last couple of days, I've been working hard, and my dopamine's been just off the fucking charts, right? And some of the tasks we've been bringing to life have been quite complex. The thoughtfulness, the programming, et cetera. And as I've been going through it, this has overloaded my brain. Right. And then, and then I get something done, I celebrate, and then I got to take a step back. So, and that's why I thought today's conversation was meaningful, considering coming from your world of, the ADHD world and how it balances each other out. Do you follow me?
Absolutely. Yeah. Totally tracks. I mean, this is the part where we talk about when you want to be an ADHD high performer, you have to be very, very critical of where and how you're getting your dopamine. Because is this a task when I'm procrastinating? Is it a task where I'm just plummeting my dopamine well below baseline? Or is it just continuing to fuel more and more? And every time I get a little task done and I actually know how to celebrate it, that's going to continue to pull me forward to get more and more stuff done that keeps that momentum alive. If it's something where my procrastination is just consuming other content, other things, I get a spike. But the trough afterwards, I'm so well below baseline of my dopamine. Now I can't turn my brain on to go do the boring, mundane task that's in front of me.
So here's the risky question. How does an ADHDer, how does somebody who's chasing dopamine hits celebrate a win with a positive reward? Because I think that becomes a slippery slope, right? We go to the pantry, we go to the fridge, we go to a bad substance.
We reward ourselves with a self-sabotaging behavior.
Exactly, Johnny. Yeah, exactly, Ian. So how do you talk to somebody who's in that situation right now, getting them through this procrastination, finding productivity, but rewarding without sabotaging behavior?
Yeah, so the reward needs to be sustainable. So the biggest thing with a lot of the big quick hits is that they're very fast, and the sharper the dopamine hit, the bigger the trough is afterwards, right? The faster we go below baseline, then now we're just chasing. If I instead make it to where I only get to have this treat, this snack, this whatever the thing is, for me, mangoes and honey, you will see that on my desk while I'm working, and I'm eating it as I'm doing it. And I'm reinforcing the behavior of the boring, mundane work with the dopamine hit. I make those two things so closely aligned that to me, the work equals mangoes and honey. The work equals dopamine. And I can essentially trick and hack my brain to thinking the boring, mundane task is actually the honey, when obviously we know I'm consuming that. I'm imbibing that. I can use that to sort of trick my brain into thinking the one boring, mundane thing actually doesn't suck.
So you're actually sitting at your desk with honey and mango, true story, and you're working and you're rewarding yourself with eating those substances as you're working? Like, I'm just serious.
No, absolutely. 100%. Not in this.
I can see a lot of fat people being produced by this methodology here.
I'm wondering the same thing, Johnny.
They're going to love it.
So I've been listening to you talk, but I love it. I love it, brother, because I've got a heavy addictive personality. I've never been clinically diagnosed, but I mean, it's pretty easy for me to see that I've got the things when I manage myself properly. I I'm a productive machine. I stay addicted to productivity.
So Johnny can't get enough of me, Ian. He's just addicted to Uncle Keith over here.
I believe
he's
that.
a nutty little, he's such a nutty little sucker.
But
one of the, but real quick, let me share kind of how it was my own development of how to deal with this. It was obviously helped by my mom, but really what we did was we planned everything. So I could mentally, like, I've already got my day. I've already mentally rehearsed my day today. So I've already found joy in the little tasks. I've already kind of premeditated how good that's going to feel and how good that's going to feel. And it's almost like I lay out my day where it's just, now I just got to physically act it out. And that was what kind of kept me, away from a lot of these pitfalls that we've been discussing.
So there's two things that I want to lean into, because one of the parts of it is when you're doing the boring, mundane work, when you're doing it in the company of others, you feel this deep acceptance and belonging that creates the dopamine, the oxytocin that, again, pulls us forward to doing the thing. If you've got a boring task that you're avoiding, get somebody else just to hang out and be present with you for it. Like, I do a lot of this in my coaching where it's just body doubling. Hey, we're all going to get in a room and we're just going to slam some shit out. I'm going to work on my stuff. You're going to work on your stuff. But just the fact that we're in a room together increases my sense of safety and dopamine to all of the boring things that I'm trying to work on. So the fact that you did it with your mother in connection there, and so every time you do the work, you feel some sense of safety and connection in that work, and you've already kind of created that dopamine association. Yeah.
So, I mean, definitely like the idea of what you're saying about the room where everybody's doing their stuff. It's kind of like study groups. Everybody sits at a table and everybody just kind of it sucks equally for everybody. So. What about the idea of helping someone with a methodology that doesn't require anybody else?
Yeah. So what you talked about of already visualizing the celebration before you do it, right? And this is the thing where every small win that you collect, treat it as if you just finished the marathon in your head. I'm celebrating every time.
Totally.
And most people with ADHD don't know how to celebrate themselves well because they just feel a sense of relief that it's just finally done. I don't feel good about it. I actually just feel exhausted. I'm thrashed because I procrastinated for it so long. Now that I waited until the 11th hour to get this done, now I just feel exhausted and I'm thrashed from it. I can't celebrate it. So now I'm only reinforcing how negative I feel towards that boring and mundane task.
So the idea
of success at the beginning helps a great deal.
Totally. So for me, what allowed me to not go into these cycles of procrastination, which in many cases was productive procrastination, which is even fucking worse because your mind tells you you're doing shit, but you're really not. But that pre-planning, decisions are made ahead of time. And that's what allowed me to bypass the procrastination. Like if I have, it sounds goofy, but if I have even an hour of time in my day that is unplanned, I get fucking lost in that 60 minutes.
And I can tell, Johnny, just in getting to know you, and I mean this with, use a word that I don't mean in a bad way. I can tell that hour in your brain would stress you out or stresses you out. You look at your calendar and you're like, oh my God, there's a window here. Where I don't know what I'm doing.
I got systems for everything, baby. Yeah. So I've got A, B, and C. 3 things that are important to me that I can plug into that hour at any time. Yeah. Sometimes that hour pops up because someone had to, maybe a client had a family issue and boom, right for our Zoom, they got to go. They can't take it. Well, I got an hour. Well, A, B, and C. I got 3 things that are always going to be of interest and productive I can plug in there. But before I had that system, fuck, man, I would be standing in front of the goddamn refrigerator, the cupboard. My brain was looking for some sort of quick fix when it was because it was that time that was not predetermined.
I love this nugget you just dropped here, Ian, because this happens to all of us. Plans change. And when plans change, shit goes sideways. And so I knew, Johnny, that window on your calendar would stress you out. I did not know, and I know you're a systems guy. I love that you just shared, though, that when something goes sideways, I now got to go to plan A, B, or C. And you've created the discipline within yourself to go to plan A, B, or C because you know that if you go there, you're going to feel better with that decision. Because if
totally, yes.
E, F, or G, those decisions aren't good for you. So you're like, no, it's got to be the A, B, or C decision, and that is it. It's as simple as that. It's
funny enough, when it started, it was called my go list. Because I knew if I was sitting still, it was a fucking problem. So let's go. It's a go list. And it would be these, then of course I got past calling it a go list, just knowing that these are my top 3. But that's how it started. Was if that hour symbolized me sitting there, so to speak, my brain was sitting still, not attached to something productive. Well, fuck, that's for me. And, my brain and, call it my disabilities, which are actually my fucking blessings.
Yeah.
That's one of the things, brother, I said in my story, man, if I didn't have this shit, I wouldn't be me, hands down. The way that I harness because I believe I've got, ADD and a pretty good case of OCD and massive case of dyslexia. But this shit is fucking perfect. As an entrepreneur and an athlete, all we do is repeat shit. And especially repeating shit in the dark when no one's looking, it still feels good.
What I like about what you're saying, and even what you're saying too, Ian, is that is the awareness of intention wrapped around it. Carter was supposed to be here a couple of days ago, guys, for a lift, and he had bad sunburn. He didn't make the lift. So what I said to him, I was like, dude, you need to take that hour instead of just doing nothing, Johnny and Marty, and just kind of piss around. I said, intentionally do something that creates the same kind of value. So I said, if you're going to come to the gym and do your workout for 30 minutes, have a nap for 30 minutes. Like, don't just be on your phone and piss around and scroll. Like, intentionally do something that provides value. And he's like, I like that idea. So Johnny, kind of playing off your A, B, or C list, I said, Carts, take the day off from the gym, but don't take the day off from life. Still take that hour or 35 minutes and make it productive. Right. And I think, Ian, that's what you're saying as well. Marty, do you find yourself in these situations as well where productive procrastination gets in the way? You're trying to find a spark to get, because I know you're a very creative soul. How do you get that curiosity sparked when you're procrastinating?
Yeah, man, I usually have a critical task, like I mentioned earlier before Ian got on here. So if I get that extra hour, I try to do something within that critical task, because procrastination is contagious.
Yeah.
So once I start bullshitting in one area, I might start bullshitting somewhere else. So I try to stay far away from that and be productive with my extra time.
Yes. Hello, Mr. Beast. Good to see you there in the comments, Mr. Beast. I see you there in the comments this morning on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends. Remember, guys, we're having a conversation on procrastination right now. Understanding your procrastination patterns is key to mastering them. Embracing productive procrastination as your ally, not your enemy. Watch your daily goals flourish. Jimmy, let's get after the next segment, brother.
Here's what separates the productive from the paralyzed. Strategic task switching. Right now, identify your main priority and pair it with one beneficial backup activity. When resistance hits your primary task, don't scroll social media, pivot to your productive alternative. This isn't procrastination, it's momentum management. Your next move? Share your go-to productive procrastination activity in the comments below. Not just for us, for the man who needs to see that he's not alone in this battle. Your strategy could be the breakthrough someone else desperately needs. Drop it now, and let's build this community of men who refuse to waste their potential.
Are you back, brother?
All right, we're doing the rapid fire. We're getting better with the production, guys. We got some videos, weaving stuff in to do some intros. Ian, I got some rapid fire, man. I got some questions for you. I'm going to put them on the table. You ready to go?
Oh, yeah, let's have it.
Let's do it. Funniest ADHD moment you've had this year?
Well, I don't know what makes them funny. Usually it
That's your answer. That's your answer. The one snack that ruined your diet every time.
Yeah, the funniest one is I tried to make marshmallows using beef protein powder, and it was probably the most painful, terrible thing I've ever eaten ever.
Hold on, is this why is ADHD? Does this have to do with why you're constantly trying to? Because everybody that knows me said, "Man, you make some weird shit when it comes to food."
We can't blame the ADHD. I think that's just our problem, John.
Okay, well, I was going to say, because I don't feel like it's anything to do with my brain other than fucking curiosity. You know what I mean?
Right. I think maybe that's it. Is we have the ADHD, the willingness to do dumb shit. That's
a superpower right there.
Absolutely. But I will tell you, hydrolyzed beef protein inside of marshmallows isn't it. It's not a winner.
I think I have to pause the rapid fire to lean into this protein and meat and marshmallows, Ian May?
Yeah, so I was trying to add more protein to marshmallows. I had this idea of getting more protein in marshmallows, and I don't do dairy, so I had hydrolyzed beef protein, which is essentially like dehydrated beef broth.
Yes,
and it tastes exactly like you'd think. It tastes like a bull's asshole, and I assumed that all of the sweetness of the marshmallows would pull through. It did not. It was god awful.
You know what? Real quick, the rapid fire. We got the one question on rapid fire. That's crazy. Keith. Great question, Keith. But I just want to say one thing. People act like I'm like such a fitness freak and fitness fanatic, but I always meet someone who's a step above me. This is the highest level. I have never seen this.
Marty, marshmallows and meat protein. Our first guest who's used bull's asshole and meat protein and marshmallows on mornings. And Ian, you've got the quote of 2025, I think, brother.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be honest, fellas. If I ate fucking marshmallows, I can see. I don't see this as too far away from my curiosity. But the marshmallow is not part of my platform.
So you wouldn't try a beef protein marshmallow if it it's protein?
No, dude. I don't eat fucking marshmallows. I don't give a fuck what's on there.
Well, and I guess the big question from Peaches comes to Ian, which is, Ian, how or why would you know how a bull's asshole tastes?
I grew up on a farm. I'm gonna leave it.
Hey, have you stuck your arm in a bull's asshole before?
No, I never had to do that. No.
I don't think that's the bull. I think that's more of like the cow, isn't it? They're doing something else. I don't think anybody. I mean, you know how pissed off bulls are. You're gonna go that fucking close and stick your arm up his ass. He will kill you.
Are we talking?
Bulls are dangerous animals, man.
I agree.
Genders here in the lab sticking arms up bulls' asses or cows' asses. Ian, most impulsive thing you've done in the past week besides be on the show?
This is up there for sure. Me saying yes to this shit.
There's another clip for us.
Honestly, I actually don't. This past week has been a deload for me, so I'm like super zen right now. I'm more zen than I've been in a long time.
Dude, I'm starting my zen today.
I can tell Anderson's in low gear today, Jimmy and Marty. I can tell Anderson's just. I'm pleased that he's here and he showed up, which is what's most important. Ian, so lead into that. Why are you in zen mode? Like, has it just been July 4th, middle of the year, reflection? Like, talk about that for a second, pal.
Well, I actually just came back from a retreat out in Sedona, Arizona, and it was the entire time I did no caffeine. I did no.
Oh, wow.
I literally shut off all of the impulsive ADHD stuff, and I sat like deep meditation for an entire weekend. Most people with ADHD be like, "Oh, I can't meditate." ADHD meditation is like your crazy superpower. Every single breath that you could take, make it nuanced and novel and interesting, and every single one, just leaning into it and obsessing about all of the nuance of every little thing like that. It's wild how much the ADHD brain just lights up with creative energy. When you stop trying to consume and you make room for all of that creativity, it's
brother, my quiet time. This is where all of my solutions in life and business are brought to me. Mm-hmm. I don't even know what fucking questions to ask, and the answers are fucking showing up. Sometimes to the point where once I have more than 3, I have to fucking break and go write the shit down. It's rare I get more than 3, but sometimes like, fuck, man, oh my God, how did I not see this?
Yeah. Yeah, if the ADHD person is willing to get bored, so that's what most people like. They don't want to be bored because they're like, "Oh, I don't like me. I don't want to spend time with me." Ha ha ha. It's so funny how much I hate myself. No, the more you spend time with yourself and you start being able to sit with really deep, uncomfortable feelings that you might have been shoving down, as soon as you get past that difficult point, the creative energy that you just pull in is phenomenal. That you will have so much more output than any average person could even come close.
Bro, let me kind of. I so agree. Let me just share real quick. So for me to get into that spot, it was tough. I mean, I learned when I was young. I learned accounted. Counting is what kind of settled me. So I would sit and I would count 1 in, 2 out. And I would just count, and sometimes everything would start slowing down by 30. Sometimes it takes me all the way to 100. But if I'm really struggling, what I do, my brain is still fucking going these places. What I do is I'll envision like I'm in a movie theater, seeing that number come at me. Now I'm just looking at one thing. And then all of a sudden the next number's going away. And because I went from thinking about 40 fucking things to one thing, it'll go from one thing to 0 things, and my time will start.
Yeah. So, I mean, even that part of creating some separation between you and your thoughts is its own superpower. And how you go about doing that, like sometimes I'll just sit in front of my computer with the screen off and I'll visualize like the matrix of the little letters popping down, and whatever like really strong invasive thought that I'm not trying to give energy to, I picture it falling onto the screen, and now I'm going to change the letters on it, make it funny, weird, whizzy gig letters, and now I'm going to hear the thought in Morgan Freeman's voice, and he's narrating my life. And these thought, creating the separation between the invasive thought and like in yourself, whoever that self is, makes it to where now I can create space between any thought. What thoughts do I want to give energy to? What thoughts do I actually want to direct my focus to? And it's not because I have to come up with a bunch of positive sayings to negate the negative intrusive thoughts. I just completely remove the energy that they have.
Brother, you are, oh my, I mean, I bust up Keith all the time, dude. Why are you giving that negativity any attention?
Yeah.
I just don't give negativity attention, because if I do, it fucking sucks me in like a fucking negative vortex. I just keep focused on the positive, and it does the same thing.
Peach is coming in saying, I'm glad I'm not the only one that wants Morgan Freeman to narrate my life. Hanging out with Ian Mai this morning on Mornings in 11. Ian, I got to tell you, man, this doesn't happen often. And I know Marty and John don't hear me say this often, but we have certain guests where I want to keep walking towards the camera, walking towards you. Dude, you're dropping nuggets, man. I'm a huge fan of yours. I got to ask you, do you have kids?
I do, yeah. 2 kids.
How old are your kids?
One's about to turn 5 and the other's 1.
They have
great fucking age.
They are exceptionally lucky children to have a father like you. I've spent 20, 30 minutes with you, man. And I got to tell you, those kids are going to be learning a lot of great stuff through their life, dude. And I'm just, wow, you're just dropping nuggets, brother. You come back, hang out with us again sometime?
I would love that. I received that for sure.
Where can we find you? Where can Nation connect with you? Where can folks work with you? How can everybody who wants to learn more from Ian Mai, where can they find you, brother?
Yeah, they can find me on LinkedIn. I can give the links for the show notes, as well as ianmai.co is my website.
Awesome. So here's what's going to happen. Jimmy, hang tight on the next segment here. We got a lifestyle tip coming up. I revealed something at the beginning of the show about something I said.
What if everything you've ever seen is already gone? Every blink, every moment, an echo from the past. Your eyes aren't seeing reality. They're remembering it. 15 seconds behind. Soon you'll see the truth.
I left the pause there, guys. There's some incredible science that our brains are grabbing what we're talking about 15 seconds ago. So everything we're saying actually happened 15 seconds ago. Jimmy, let's get to the John Anderson lifestyle tip, and let's come back if Ian can stick.
I'm gonna roll out, Keith. I gotta roll.
Marty's got to rock and roll, brother.
Have a good
Nice
look,
to meet you, man. Yes, sir. I'll see y'all tomorrow.
All right, pal. All right, Jimmy, let's keep it going, brother.
All right, John Anderson is up next, spitting lifestyle wisdom to help you. I don't know with what, though.
Well, let's keep going on this idea of procrastination and some ways to overcome it. I'm going to use today as a perfect example. 4th of July weekend is over. We had, including my wife and I, 18 people at our house for 4 days. So as you can imagine, today is a day where I'm spent. And I got up this morning, normal time, doing my thing, and my brain did not want to do what it was supposed to do. I was looking for, God knows, any way to find a reason to sit down. So what did I do? I just kept moving. That's the tip. Keep moving. If you're up and you feel like your brain's trying to take you off track, just keep moving. Do the little things that it takes to get your day started. Maybe it's just literally making your coffee. Maybe it's, whatever needs to be done. These little tiny tasks. Brush your teeth. Do all the little things. Check the boxes. Keep moving. This is what kept me going today. Had I decided to sit down and kind of think about what was going on in front of me and what I was going to do and how I was going to tackle it, I probably would have been there for 15 or 20 minutes. And it would have been time that didn't serve me, and it would have made the start to my day when I was tired and already trying to procrastinate that much worse. So the tip is this. If you're up and you find yourself thinking about not doing what you need to do, just keep moving. Find the smallest task, get them done, get that check mark in your head, which will be accompanied by a little dose of dopamine, and your brain will want to start looking for other little tasks. So the tip is simple. Just keep moving. Rock and roll.
Everything you're seeing right now happened 15 seconds ago. Your brain isn't showing you reality, it's showing you ancient history. While you think you're living in the moment, you're actually trapped in the past. Every missed opportunity, every late reaction, every time you felt behind the curve, it wasn't you being slow, it was your visual system running on a 15-second delay. You've been living life in the rear view mirror. But now you know the truth. The men who figured this out, they start anticipating instead of reacting. They break free from the delay. Stop living in your brain's edited version of reality. Start living now.
Fascinating stuff, you guys. Fascinating stuff, you guys. Whatever's happening happened 15 seconds ago. Myself, Keith Bells, John Anderson, and our guest, Ian Mai. We're keeping Ian for a couple more minutes here. John is going to sneak away for a pee break, unless he's quite fascinated by this discussion around something that happened 15 seconds ago is registering now. Ian, when you hear that, what do you think about that, brother?
I mean, I can understand how I split everything up into the animal, lizard, amygdala part of your brain and the lobe of your brain, right?
Yes.
So for me, what's interesting with the ADHD experience is that my body might respond to that thing immediately inside of 300 milliseconds. But the time in which my frontal lobes just like, wait, what the hell happened? The executive, the logical part of my brain, that's going to take a little bit longer. For the ADHD experience, it's like I've got dopamine around the lizard brain, so I might have already been taking action on it, good, bad, or ugly, well before the rest of my body and brain caught up. 15 seconds sounds about right.
I found it quite fascinating, and when I found the topic, Ian, John and I laugh all the time, asking ourselves this question: whether we're living in a simulation or not, right? Whether and let's be frank, as the world continues to move forward as fast as it's moving, and technology is changing as fast as it's changing, it's hard to not ask the question whether we're living in a simulation. So when I saw this question, I was like, oh. Okay, well, that just happened 15 seconds ago, and I didn't even realize it. And it's interesting, Ian, because in experience with time-lapse face videos, people thought they were reacting in real time, but they consistently described faces 15 seconds behind the current frame. It's fascinating to me, isn't it? Because of how our brain works and how we think it works. And then we talk about this serial dependence means your current visual reality is anchored in the recent past, not the present. Again, just think about that, right? Like what you're seeing actually happened 15 seconds ago. And dude, 15 seconds, like if we stop talking for 15 seconds, people be like, what are they, frozen? Like it's a long period of time, Ian.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. What would people do with those 15 seconds? Sitting in the discomfort of the pause.
Right?
To just wait for more information to come through.
Yeah,
in the audience.
and apparently, look, it's a feature. It's not a flaw, but it has implications, especially in fast-paced, high-pressure moments where clarity is key and we're making decisions rapidly, right? And then Ian, as I was doing my research on this topic as well, it's the brain uses something called a continuity field to average visual input over the last 15 seconds, keeping your visual world stable today.
Oof. Yeah, I definitely need to do more research on that because I can completely appreciate our brains are pattern recognition machines. Like we're constantly assessing. And so when you say that continuity, we're just guessing a good majority of the continuity based on past experience. Some of those past experiences aren't great. Some of them suck. And I don't want to use the word trauma because everyone throws it around. But in all seriousness, there's a lot of stuff that we have unresolved that we haven't dealt with, that every time there's even something that closely mimics that thing, immediately our body goes into escape, fight or flight. And we don't actually have time to respond and sit with and be able to say, hey, this right now, this thing in front of me is actually not that.
Well, and Ian, that weaves it back to Johnny's comment about when something goes sideways in his schedule, the fight or flight gets into place. Okay, I got to run to A, B, or C. Because him responding to A, B, or C enables him to not fight or flight the situation. It allows him to, react to that moment that may have happened 15 seconds previous. Johnny, when you hear this, and you and I joke all the time about, are we living in the world of simulations? Isn't this fascinating to you to think that, what I'm saying actually was said 15 seconds ago?
Yeah, I mean, there's no question. There's some, this is a rabbit hole that you could go down and get lost in. You know, my my brain and the part of me that distills things, that simplifies things.
Yes.
Today is saying it doesn't matter. Just keep doing what you got to do.
Yes. Yes. Well, it's funny because I had
today I'm not finding how that's serving me.
Yes. Yeah. Well, that's interesting. Actually, I had a conversation with somebody yesterday who was not serving my moments in time, and it was creating a lot of negative energy. And I took exactly a page from you, what you said there. I was like, okay, this isn't serving me anything. Wrapped it out of my head, moved my brain 30 seconds forward, and just got myself right out of it. So, guys, your mind is powerful, but also full of shortcuts. The more we understand these hidden mechanics, the more control we have over our mindset, our reactions, and our goals. So I invite you that this is a reminder: stay grounded, stay focused, and stay open in learning how your brain truly works. That is, guys, the real edge. Jimmy, let's keep it going.
So there you have it, gentlemen. Your brain has been showing you reruns while life happens in real time. Every decision you've made, every opportunity you've missed, every moment you felt behind, you were literally living 15 seconds in the past. But now you know the truth. The question is, what are you going to do about it? Stop living in your brain's edited version of reality. Start anticipating instead of reacting. Break free from the delay. This is Morning Loop, where we wake you up to what's really happening. Keith, John, and Marty, keeping you 15 seconds ahead of everyone else. Now get out there and live in the present.
What's your secret, man?
Skip snooze, tune into Keith, John, and Friends, 8 a.m. YouTube.
Oh, I heard that for the first time, brother.
There you go. Yeah.
You know what? Get me the hell out of here. Let's get to hour 2 of Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends.
There we go, guys. You got Keith, John, and our guest Ian Mai here on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. Hour 2 coming up. Thank you for being patient while we work through our new production quality, our new value, the new stuff we're putting on the table. I can't even find the fucking word. But there it is, just adding some new fun stuff to the show here, weaving into the world of entertainment. Anybody calling us a podcast, fuck off. Yeah, true story. Not a podcast. Nope, actually a show. Yeah, full-on TV show being produced in real time, live for all of you guys. Ian, I hope you had as much fun as we had having you in the show, brother. And I want to have you back. Hope you come back and hang out again.
Yeah, I'd love that. Thank you.
Love your energy. Love what you drop. Johnny, the guy's a bodybuilder. What did Ian, where did you lift, man? What kind of competitions did you get into?
So I competed in natural classic physique. So all the very artsy, old school stuff.
Congratulations. How did you place? How did you do?
I won a natural show that got me a pro card. This was years ago, so I'm a has-been now. I can only look at the trophies in the past.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Looks like we lost Johnny here. So, all right. Well, Ian, listen, man, I appreciate you hanging out with us today. I look forward to grabbing some coffee with you. I thoroughly enjoyed all the nuggets you dropped on the show. One more time, how can folks connect with you, Ian?
Yeah, you can find me on LinkedIn as well as my website, ianmai.co.
Beautiful. All right, Jimmy, let's walk Ian out of here. Ian, I appreciate you, man. Thanks for hanging out with us this morning in the lab here.
Appreciate you both.
All right.
Pleasure.
All right, he's out of here. We got Ian out of here, Johnny, and we're going to keep it rock and roll here. Let's look into the comments here. We got Chad Hason joining us here in a quick second. Johnny, what time are you in here today, brother? Bottom of the hour?
Yeah, I got full time today. Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. We got pizza.
I've heard in the first time I've ever heard in any of the show it was Keith, John, and Friends. That was I don't know if that was a teaser slipped in there or if that was just AI fucking it up, because that's kind of what it's turned into.
Well, I had to make sure that your ears were listening, brother, and I knew those ears were listening.
Well, here's the question, because we know a lot of cool AI shit.
Yeah.
Did AI just recognize that's what it's becoming, or was that your prompt?
Perhaps a little bit of both. Yeah, perhaps a little bit of both.
Because I know how influenced you are by AI. So look out.
Hey, Jimmy, I know that I said that I dropped you a test and we weren't going to run it. But Jimmy, if you can grab that test quickly, I think now might be the time we got to show the boss here. My boss, actually. I got to show my boss here. Something I made here this morning before the show. I dropped it at Jimmy's feet and I said, don't reveal this because it's only a test. But I will say to you, Anderson, that Jimmy says to me, here's how fast things are going. True story. He says to me 2 days ago, no, 24 hours ago, he goes, imagine if we can do this. I'm like, no, we can't do it. It's not really ready yet. Fuck, go to bed last night, wake up this morning, it's ready. I'm like, oh my God, we can actually do it. So we're going to show what we can do. And I'm just telling you how fast the world's moving. And as I'm sure you somewhat saw, and we're still working through the kinks here, but just weaving in whole production value into the show, right? Teasers and openers and commercials and a lot of great stuff. And we've adopted the White Yeti as our little bit of our little mascot for the show here today. So I just having some fun and continuing to push the limits, Johnny, on what we can create and show others on what we can create. Speaking of creating, Matt Roof got back after it again, Johnny. Day 2, brother, he did it again. Day 2, Kindness Rising. I know you're a big fan of guys that get after it and show up with no excuses. And, Matty did it yesterday, stumbled his way through it because it's about progress, not perfection. Went after it again last night because he wanted to continue progress after perfection. And then he did it again today, Kindness Rising, 7:30 Eastern time, man. And I know you'd be proud of him because he's just fucking going and learning. And Johnny, running, falling, getting back up, running, falling, getting back up, running, falling, getting back up. And I got to tell you, man, you and I have met a lot of men and guests in our journey here. Not many do exactly what Matt Roof is doing, Johnny.
Yep. 100%. You got to getting in that uncomfortable space is where all the progress is made.
Yes. And I'll even say to you, man, I know that today is a slower moving day for you, but I know that you being on this show is a non-negotiable for you. So I'm very grateful for that. And what you're showing and demonstrating is that, hey, we show up whatever we have to do. Speaking of showing up, Jimmy, let's run this fun little clip to show Mr. Anderson what the future looks like for him.
If they're talking smack, you're on the right track.
So
they're sitting on the R's way too much, are they? Or is that just do I really sound like that?
So I'll just tell you, true story next. Image, enter, done. Like I just said,
that's a picture that I gave you, and you basically told it to turn it into life with one of my phrases.
Yeah, I gave it the picture, I gave it the sentence, and I hit send. I didn't give it the voice, I didn't give it the movements. I literally gave.
Oh, it went and found my voice.
Dude, I gave it image, words, and it made that for me. I didn't even tell it how to talk. I didn't even tell it how to move its head around. Didn't tell it how to blink its eyes. I literally gave it image, words, and it made you that. So imagine what's coming, Mr. Anderson. Imagine what's coming, brother. And it ain't getting any dumber than what it was there. I see you there in the green room there, Chad. We'll bring you up here in a number of minutes here. Chad Hason coming up here on the show. Hey, Jimmy, I think Yeti has something to say about what's coming up next.
Coming up in hour 2, we have some dude named Chad joining us. Stick around. Who knows what he has to say?
Yeti says Chad Hason's coming up here in the second hour here.
Quick question: How did the White Yeti become the choice of mascot? I guess if you want to call it. Not that it's a bad one. I'm just curious. There's so many directions you could have gone with that.
This is great, and I'll tell you what. I'm glad you're asking these questions because I didn't have a lot of topics for hour 2 because I was so focused on getting hour 1 done. So,
if I'm here, you never have to worry about that. Fuck.
No, I know what I mean though is that hour 2 is less produced than hour 1 because I was still putting things together. But no, to answer your question, how do we arrive at it? Great question, actually. So I tried White Yeti, I tried Silverback, I tried an English Bulldog, I tried an American Bulldog. And Johnny, what I was finding was that talking animals don't represent as well. Like when I tried both of our dogs, I tried your dog and my dog. It didn't come across as realistic. But you put either a Silverback or a Yeti or an orangutan because it's got human-like features. It spoke a little more.
Yeah.
So how did I arrive at it? It was literally random. I was sitting down with Carter and Jimmy yesterday. I was like, hey, which one do we want? The White Yeti or the Black Silverback? And we arrived on the White Yeti for an hour. So
no, I think it's actually kind of unique. I was just curious how it came. Sometimes, every once in a while, even the best, you could sit there and be busting your ass on a name for something. And all of a sudden, the first thing you blurt out is the one that you end up keeping.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Before we bring in Chad Hason, I want to quickly talk for a few minutes with you about procrastinating because I'm grateful that you shared what you shared in that first hour, which is that when you get yourself into a situation, you fall to A, B, or C. But one of those choices is not to procrastinate. Can I ask you what A, B, and C usually are for you? Is it working out? Is it going for a walk? Is it having a nap? Is it Terry time? And I'm being serious. Like, what are those?
100%. So it's always going to be something that really has my interest.
Of course,
it has to be something that has my interest. And so depending on, there are different phases in my life where, working out may have been one of them. When it comes to like current times, it's been business stuff.
Yes.
Or it's been some sort of, I guess a better way to put it. Yes, it's business oriented, but it's the creative part. The creating really grabs my interest. Testing grabs my interest. And so that when I think to myself, ooh, I've got an hour, I can go do this. Lately, it's been based around like my new business or development of one of my other businesses, looking for that new, angle, that new button, so to speak,
How do you satisfy? So when you take that hour that becomes unplanned, how do you ensure that hour gives you satisfaction? Does that make sense? Like, so that you feel fulfilled at the end of that time frame?
Well, it's the task, because it's a task that, see, these are tasks that are not going to take me 5 minutes. These are tasks that might take me fucking 5 days.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yes.
So it's like, these are tasks that I enjoy doing, but there's never enough time. So I get to go back to do that, almost like to a certain extent. Let's just say that someone is really focused on dropping body fat, getting their abs. Well, maybe going for a walk would be part of that. And I've been there before too, but it's a never ending prophecy. I mean, you want these tasks not to have a finish, because that way you're never going to get caught with finishing and going, oh, fuck, what am I going to do now? Now you're back where you started.
Yeah. That's interesting. Well, and what's interesting about that is you're disciplined to know that it's a 5-day task and that you're not going to always try to get it done in one day. And I'm serious, because there's sometimes I'm like, okay, I'll get it all done right now. And it affects my sleeping, affects my food choices. So it's recognizing that, no, I still got to get my sleep in so that I can get to my next task tomorrow. And,
in my mind, what I kind of register is this task is like, it's like some sort of like a sliding scale that just keeps going up.
Yes.
Right? And no matter how, whether you work on a 5 minutes or 5 hours, the sliding scale keeps going up, but you never know where the top of the pole is. And to a certain extent, there really is no top, because you're always developing.
Yeah.
So you got to have a task where you realize that it's kind of never finished, because if it gets close to being finished, it'll have some sort of a branch that'll go this way and it'll continue up more.
Yeah. Keith and John here, Mornings Alive with Keith and Friends, hour 2, getting after it every single day. Hey guys, you guys can join the conversation. 431-300-3005. That's 431-300-3005. Send me a voicemail, send me a text, or even have a call. Join the live conversation right here. The only morning show that has a phone number that invites you guys to get after it every single day. Coming up, Chad Hason. Brand is a verb. How Chad Hason turns storytelling into serious business, even if your budget's tiny. Hey, Jimmy, I think the White Yeti might have to say something as well before we get into Chad.
Yeah, so speaking of John. Oh, hi, John. Think much?
Yeah, Yeti's throwing us under the bus with crazy, ridiculous things here. Welcome back to Mornings in the Lab, the live morning show where men's conversations and daily motivation collide. Today, we're going to be joined by Chad Hason, the CEO, the brand strategist, and the soon-to-be author. Oh, John, we got another fucking author, man. Really? Another author? Honest to God. These fucking authors.
Quick question, brother. Quick question. I got a quick question, dude. You pulled this shit on me when I came on the show too. The very first time we didn't know each other. Are you attacking authors because you haven't become one yet? Is that what's deep down inside? I think it is.
Are you revealing my secrets?
Yeah, he hasn't fucking written a book yet, so this is his way of dealing with the fact that he hasn't pulled the fucking trigger. So he likes to fucking poke fun at people that actually have taken the step. This is are you a bestseller? My first question. Well, is it a bestseller? Of course, my answer is, isn't everybody's book a bestseller? But the whole idea is like, look at this little motherfucker. He's not a fucking. He's like a lard ass fucking poking fun at somebody with abs.
Oh, Hason, I got the flak jacket on. Jimmy, let's bring in Chad Hason, the CEO, the brand strategist, and the soon-to-be author of Brand is a Verb. We're going to give Chad a gun along with Johnny, and I got my...
What if everything you've been told about building a brand is backwards? The most powerful brands in history weren't built with money. They were built with authentic stories that connected human to human. Research from successful boutique agencies shows that creative constraints actually force breakthrough thinking, while unlimited budgets often lead to generic, forgettable messaging. The secret isn't having more resources. When you stop trying to sound like everyone else and start embracing what makes you uniquely you, your small budget becomes your competitive advantage. Your authentic voice cuts through the noise better than any expensive campaign ever could. Start telling your real story today. Your audience is waiting to connect with the human behind the brand.
Chad Hason, the CEO, brand strategist, and the soon-to-be author of Brand is a Verb. Chad, I show love through jest. I show love through bullets. All right, Chad, I'm standing here, man. Take your gun with Anderson. What do you got to shoot at me? What's your book all about, brother? Why are you deciding to be an author, Chad Hason?
Well, good morning, guys. Thanks for having me. Actually, you guys talked about like almost every chapter I have in here just in the last 10 minutes. There, I got to give the plug.
Oh, there you go. Okay, well then give it to us, brother. Give it to us.
Well, just storytelling and having a brand. Again, we always say your vibes attract your tribes. I like to think there's an audience for absolutely everybody, but too many people try to be like the last guy.
Nobody's like Keith and John. We're a little different on this show.
Exactly. You got to be your own. So, and I also got to say, you're the only guy that's gotten my name right every single time. And you said it more than anyone. So thank you so much. But yeah.
Well, dude, he just fucking butchered one yesterday. There's a guy here called named Beatty, and he was calling him fucking Betty. I was like, dude, I even said, I said, dude, you're the first fucking Betty I've ever met that doesn't have a vagina.
I get Hanson all the time. But that's on me. Actually, tie in. You got to tell your story. I talk to a lot of people that say, I don't need marketing. I've got word of mouth. And I always say those people sound absolutely stupid because word of mouth is something that you need to guide. You got to put your story.
Yeah, word of mouth is marketing, for Christ's sake. What the fuck?
Exactly. Marketing equips word of mouth.
Yeah.
You guys talked about a bunch of stuff to do with to brand it, and I cover a lot of it in my book. You also talked about the difference, or how I say it, the difference between responding and reacting. And actually, I pulled this other book. If we're going to call up, you've seen this, but that is exactly what you guys are talking about: the art and science of delay, or from a brand perspective, the ability to respond instead of react. Taking that extra beat to say, well, how am I going to respond this? And
life changing, brother. That half a beat is a life fucking changer, is it not? Oh my God.
Yeah.
Chad dropping nuggets before he even got into it. Chad's made a career out of telling stories that stick even for brands with wallets thinner than their coffee filters. I don't really know if I'm needed here because, apparently we've done the whole show. Chad's done the whole show for us in his book already, Johnny. But
real quick, this segment is reserved for people who actually have books. So yeah, you can leave. Just sit quietly and push all those fucking buttons while my man here and I have a conversation amongst authors.
All of you authors that aren't daily morning show conversationalists, yeah, come see me later. Anyways, Chad Hason built an agency atlas on the belief that creative expression, not cash, wins hearts and drives real business growth. What do you mean by that, Chad, when I make that statement?
Well, what we don't mean is if you don't have money, come ask for free marketing, because that's certainly not the case. But what my point is, if you've either got time or money, and with the right guidance, you can do a good job of brand marketing even on a shoestring budget. Now, is that going to serve you forever? No, probably not. You need to build on that. And with success, you can invest a little bit more into your story and hopefully get a little bit more of a return for that. But what I hate to see is people not jumping because they're not perfect. That's the other one. I think you guys said progress over perfection. Yeah. I would say predictability over perfection. Again, we're not looking for our brands to be perfect. We're not looking for them to be all things to all people. Even if they just cover a little part of our life, even if they're just there for us at a time where we know we're going to need them, that predictability and being able to understand what they're bringing to the table every day is going to bring that consistency and brand loyalty. And then it's just up to you to scale.
Yeah. Hey, Chad. So what really drew me into you is that you say that brand is a verb.
Yeah.
What does that mean for entrepreneurs who think that brand is just a logo or tagline? Because we both know, brother, as marketers, and I got my brand set up. I got a brand and I got a logo. That's it. No.
Yeah.
Talk about what a brand is a verb means, Chad Hason.
Sure. Well, I think especially, post 1998, it's real tough for people to be different behind closed doors than they are in the public. And nobody likes a hypocrite. So what we say is you can say all you want. I mean, talking is a verb, speaking is a verb. That's fine. But it's really how you back it up in your day-to-day actions that's going to determine how people view your brand. So gone are the days where we can fake it until we make it.
So real quick, you said post 1998. Is that what you said, or did I miss that?
Yeah, I mean, basically in the age of internet, right? Where we
okay, gotcha. Yeah.
Sorry, brands can.
My mind's moving slow today, brother. Forgive me.
We were all old enough to remember pre-internet, where we'd get our news from the newspapers or stories, word of mouth stories that we couldn't really figure out ourselves or confirm. So in this internet phase, you're really everywhere. People want to hear from us, not necessarily about everything. I also talk about the value of taking a day off if you don't have anything to say and not jumping into every single conversation. But from a brand standpoint, to your point, I saw your logo. I read your bio. It wasn't until you sent me a video, 24 hours before introducing, until I actually heard you guys, say fuck confidently without bleeping it out, that I truly started understanding your brand, what it was going to be like to talk to you guys. I had no qualms wearing, a hat that says disco psychedelia, because I understood your brand and how me wearing a black t-shirt and a hat was probably a better fit than showing up in a suit. So that's it. Know your brand, pump it out. It's a verb. Everything you do and say, me showing up here, speaking comfortably with you versus, being on CNN or something. Not that they're calling, but it'd be a little bit more pomp and professionalism versus my true brand. And if you look at my clients, one of my chapters is all my favorite people say fuck. And that's because on my LinkedIn and that I drop F-bombs. I also say asterisks are for cowards. I can't stand seeing people that say F asterisk CK this, right? Say it or don't say it. Embrace your brand. And then people will know how to act around you. Then it's just up to you to be popular enough to make a business out of it.
Chad, that's some good stuff, brother. So let me ask you, let's go back to us then. So we invited you on the show. You did a little bit of homework. You're a branding guy. What did you see, or what did you take out of our brand as a verb? And you said you got it.
Yeah. I mean, there's always more to get, right? But first impressions are fast impressions.
Tell us.
And we want everything you can do. So just look at yourself, Keith. You got Eminem in the back. You got those glasses in the top hat. I came in 5 minutes early and heard you guys swear 14 times. You're laughing. You're taking yourselves not too seriously, but at the same time, providing value. That's all something that aligns right with what I do. I came and started an agency really to be the anti-agency. I was a brand strategist for some absolute douchebags for a few years. And I thought I could do a better job, and came out here and put my money where my mouth was and proved it. But every day I go out there and stand next to alternatives to me. And the best thing I can do is let someone know whether they'll love me or hate me in the first couple minutes. And that's brand. And I would say the same for you guys. If you invited my Pentecostal Christian mother onto your show, she would have watched you for 30 seconds and run screaming for the hills.
Yes. Well, Chris, I say this to you as a branding expert because I think Taylor Swift is a master class in branding. She's a business case owner, right? Because she created a brand, which is, this is what I am, point blank in a box. You don't like me? That's fine. Go somewhere else. And I bring that up as an example. And her, maybe Drake in a similar way, but Swift for 10 years really built her brand, business case. And it is what it is. There's no grayness. There's no pink. It's red. It's black and white and it's red, right? And I think she's done a wonderful job of that. And I think she speaks I think what she represents is what you talk about, is a brand being a verb, right? Because Swiftie is very much a verb, isn't it? And something else you said, Chad, which really stands out to me, is that you related to 1998. One of the things that I nothing but respect for John Anderson, Chad, and you would not know this, but Johnny successfully built a career in the wrestling arena, in the strongman arena, and in the bodybuilding arena, in many ways pre-1998, pre-internet. So think about the world of the personal brand when you don't have the internet, and this dude successfully did that. So when you say that, my ears go up with pride, because this guy figured it out. And there's a lot of that takes a lot of skill to figure that out, Chad Hason, when it just wasn't the digital stuff.
Well, you know, even I don't know if we ever even discussed this, but what made that even more challenging was when pre-social media, right?
Yes.
You basically lived in this world where athletes were just the only way to promote yourself was to basically the way you looked and the way you performed. Period.
Yes.
End story.
Yeah.
I mean, the way you talked a little bit, but you didn't get a whole lot of airtime talking. So of course that played it. But bottom line is, then all of a sudden, social media hits, and we've got this platform to promote ourselves. Well, the generation that had been competing, they were so against it. If you like the very few that tried to start self-promoting, just were completely. I mean, the rest of the industry just like turned on us.
Interesting.
Because it was like, and I actually was one of those ones I kind of toyed with a little bit. I thought, God, maybe this, you know, at that point, I didn't see the value of social media. So I kind of veered away from it a little bit. But then once it hit to the point where you just realized you couldn't go another way, you had to completely jump the bandwagon on realizing, okay, now I've got, you know, how I perform, how I look, which are really the two lowest on the totem pole. It's what I say, you know, on social media that probably has the biggest gravitational pull. So it was like this massive shift from a mental standpoint as an athlete. It was kind of hard to get past.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what's beautiful about that, John, is you already had your brand. And you know, you guys are talking a lot about AI, and you're already applying your brand to the next cool thing. You'll decide where it fits, you'll decide where it lands, but brand supersedes all. We can apply it anywhere we want, platforms, mediums, time of day, but brand remains consistent. So when we see things like AI coming to the table, I'm not really worried. As a storyteller, you're always going to need ideas. And this is just the next application for those brand ideas.
Would you
100%. 100%.
Chad, would you say as we're moving from a world of social media, which really isn't social anymore, it's media. Would you say that as we move into a world of AI and embracing these AI tools, that brand equity is more important than it's ever been? Because what's fake, what's real, what's not real, what's AI generated, what's gray, what's not black and white, that brand equity of John Anderson, of Keith Billis, of Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends, perhaps might be more important than it's ever been. What would you say to that as a brand marketer, Chad Hason?
I mean, I would just back you up as saying it beautifully. I think that a lot of marketers were scared about AI and any kind of new technology that comes. Oh, it's going to take away our jobs. And that's true. If you're not very creative, I think in the creative industry, we're going to take away sort of the pencil pushers. Having said that, brand becomes the most important thing. If AI is the equalizer across the board, so everybody has the same, then the only true differentiator is brand. And to take that even further, we're going to come full circle. We're going to crave humanity again.
Yes.
I don't know if you've all had, there's a great comedian, his name escapes me, but he talks about the circle we came where we went from screaming agent, back to being frustrated with agents and screaming back to computer. But that's going to come back, and we're going to crave that humanity. So when everything is perfect and polished, we start picking up. Perfect example. You get on hold and somebody says, "Hi, how can I help you?" And you know it's a robot, and they start doing things like going, doesn't seem like. That's frustrating to me. You're not a human. You're kind of faking being a human. Put AI and all the technology over here, have all those tools. But when there's a time to reach out and embrace a human, we crave that human contact. And I don't think that's ever going to go away. And when it comes to creativity and ideas and selling people on creativity, I think humans are always going to be around.
So then as a brand marketer, can I just also, I want to share with you behind the kimono then what we're doing here. So we know AI is not going away. I'm glad you said it's the great equalizer. So what I have done, and I would not expect you to know my background. I bootstrapped a social media company here in Canada. I'm here in Winnipeg, you're in Calgary. Sorry to hear that.
Family's in Winnipeg.
I just joke with you, brother. I don't expect you to have paid any attention to what we're doing, but we very much leaned into AI. And I've created an AI generation of Keith, right? Where it's very much like Marshall and Slim Shady. You've got the douchebag Slim Shady, you got the good Marshall, right? So we've leaned into the characters of AI because why not? But Chad, Keith and John show up here every single day as real live human beings to build the trust, to build the connection, to build the value. And then we play and fill in all the gaps with all these fun AI tools. I've had a lot of marketers come back to me privately and say, wow, your AI game is killing it because you're not pretending, you're leaning into it. And I got an AI version of Keith who's kind of like a douchebag out there. But the reality is you can come and see and interact and engage with the community. There's the key word with Keith and John every single day here in real time. That to me I think is the future, is the big differentiator, right? We're doing live conversation mixed in with all. I know I froze there.
He'll come back.
You're back.
Thoughts on that, Chad?
I don't think anybody understood. You understood what he said, brother? I didn't catch it all. Did you get enough?
He trailed off at the end, but I think you're talking about the great equalizer, but still keeping that human brand active.
Yes. And by us showing up here every single day, giving our audience and community, you can engage and have real Keith and real John every single day here on the show.
Yeah.
And that's the brand equity, the F-bombs, the fun, the scroll stopping stuff. But then we fill the gaps in throughout the rest of the day with all the other media, but bringing our audience back to a live conversation daily. So build trust with a live conversation, fill it all in with all the fun stuff. Chad.
I love that. We echo that at Agency Atlas. So we talk about everything being value centric. We really only have two values here: talent and give a shit. So talent is a big one. You're not going to come to us unless we're good at what we do. If we can pump out beautiful work, that makes sense and brings return on their investment, that's great. Give a shit is, yes, we're talented, but we're also picking up the phone when you need us. We're putting that extra level of thought. We go that extra mile. It's not just about us getting ours. AI feeds into both of those. AI can help you a little bit with talent, but at the end of the day, it's about the prompts, the creativity, the able to manage that tool. Give a shit is the big one. If you're now just throwing everything over to AI, and I mean, we use it in our policies and processes, in our creative brief systems, in our meeting notes and transcripts and all that. But if you think they're just going to do the job for you, well, that's a lack of give a shit. And I would say what you're saying you do by showing up every day brings that circle together. Talent and give a shit. Some phrase my grandpa always says about, talent only wins if it shows up, right? So it's that.
Yeah. Keith, John Anderson, Chad Hason joining us all the way from Alberta. Agency Atlas with us this morning on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. Chad, I want to do a rapid fire with you here coming up here in a few minutes. How long have you had your agency?
Well, this agency was actually started by Robbie Gilchrist. He was a friend of mine, started for about a year and kept it as a sole proprietor. I joined 4 years ago. So Atlas has been around for about 5 years.
Okay, awesome. And your specialty and expertise is?
Brand strategy. I came up as a copywriter. I graduated with my public relations bachelor's degree, but didn't really like the spin, but loved the storytelling. So landed in marketing and did that for a few years. Had my own Candid Marcom, was my first company for about a decade, and then joined forces with Robbie 5 years ago.
That's awesome. Hey, Chad, before we get to the rapid fire, what do you think is the wildest misconception that you've had to debunk about branding? The wildest one, besides the logo and the jingle or the font. Like, what's the wildest misconception?
This one's going to cost me, but I would say that you should pay to find out how somebody thinks. We talk about storytelling. It's not just about telling a story. It's who tells the story. I mean, I just watched, you've all seen The Lion King. I just watched a rendition from my 7-year-old's class. And let me tell you, it was absolute garbage. Same story. They didn't hit a single note. We didn't know when it was over. Half of them were picking their nose. So, I mean, having a story is one thing. Getting someone to tell your story properly is another. And so I think brand strategy and sitting down and conceptualizing with your agency or your marketing professional of how they're going to tell your story, who they are, what makes them tick, shouldn't cost $30,000. So at our agency, we do all of that for free. And the misconception is, well, if I don't know what I'm going to do, why would I throw a bunch of money down? And why would I risk a ton of money if I don't know how you're going to spend it? So I think strategy and finding out how your storyteller thinks and how they would tell your story shouldn't be 50% of your budget.
Chad Hason, Agency Atlas, Keith and John, Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. We're going to get to the rapid fire, Chad. Here's how it works. We're going to run a little intro, and then I got a bunch of quick questions I'm going to throw at you with a quick response. You ready to get after it?
Yeah, in the spirit of Stampede, because I don't know if you know that, but we're right in the middle of it here. And competition, I'm going to throw on the old cowboy hat.
All right, Stampede Week is here, and I love the question that folks are like, "Hey, Carney, what the hell are you doing here?" That was a good one, man. I love that's a good question. I saw that in the big old Western fake media. Hey, Carney, what are you doing here at Stampede? Jimmy, let's run the opener, brother. Good morning, Celeste. I see you there in the comments. You're hanging out with Keith and John and our guest, Chad Hason, on the Rapid Fire. Chad, which brand campaign made you jealous in a good way?
Oh, well, there's one that came up. I really like double entendres, and there was a billboard in our state for a long time, "What's holding you back?" And it was a seatbelt campaign about, like, why wouldn't you put on your seatbelt, and also what's going to keep you from dying out. I've always thought that was super clever.
Oh, Chad, I love you, man. Favorite Calgary local business with a killer brand story?
Ooh, local business with a killer brand story. I'm going to go with Canna Cabana. It's a cannabis shop. It came up, actually, I had something to do with...
I know it. I have a membership there.
Oh, exactly. And that's the ticket. At a time when everybody was kind of fighting to the bottom for prices and not really doing anything to manage their community, I feel like High Tide and Canna Cabana really did step up. I'm a big fan of everything they're doing in the cannabis space.
True story. Coffee fueled brainstorm or late night idea sprint?
I'm an early morning riser, but I'm not caffeine. I'll be honest with you, cannabis drives my creativity.
You and me both, brother. So what'd you blow this morning? Some indica or sativa, or just did you?
I kept it tight actually this morning. I had a couple sprays of CBD to help me recover from my last night, and I typically don't smoke anything till afternoon.
I did notice, Johnny, you didn't have the cigar going this morning.
Ooh, you should see. Shout out to Top Shelf Brands coming. That's a company that we're just about to launch. It is absolutely revolutionary, and in an actual revolutionary way. Keep your eye out for that.
I know Top Shelf. Well, so my brother from another mother on the bottom left corner here likes to start the show with the good old chop of the old cigar. So he's those
worlds together, brother.
Oh, there you go. Oh,
new slow smoke technology. I'm telling you, it is from the rolling room. It is incredible.
So, Johnny, I might have to have a conversation with Lauren, though, so you can be on that side of the fence and I can be on this side of the fence. We can both be puffing our cigars here first thing in the morning at 5:15 in California and at 7:15 here in Winnipeg. And then we'll bring Hason on to join from Alberta.
Most people can't conceive that I smoke a cigar at 5 a.m. Monday through Friday.
Your voice suggests it, John.
What's that?
You got that nice cigar voice in the morning.
I got this cigar voice all 24/7, brother.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, man, I like your energy, brother. I do. I really enjoy your energy. And I'm gonna be really frank with you. I don't enjoy a lot of energy from my Calgary friends, but I'm really enjoying your energy. So this is really good, actually. Hey, listen, if you had to choose never use LinkedIn again or never use humor in your work again, what would it be?
Oh, wow, man. Well, humor's brand. LinkedIn is a platform. It's my favorite platform, but I got to stick with brand.
Oh, you're a good man. Biggest brand fail moment in your own career. And did you laugh about it or did you lose some sleep?
Oh, man, I got a few. I've written a few blank checks. I stand behind my work. So if I think you have a good idea and you don't have money as an entrepreneur to launch it, if I write you a blank check and get you your brand, your website, your strategy and all that, then we can share in the success. I made a horrible mistake and I'm gonna call them right out. Savvy app. It was a grocery price watching app that we put a good 200 grand into, and that fucker didn't do what he was supposed to do to get it launched on time. That was usually my biggest failure. And you know how people reach out to you on DMs on LinkedIn and they think they just look at the first thing they saw you for?
Yes.
Publicity. So they're always congratulating me on the amazing job I did with Savvy. Just an extra stab in the side every morning.
That might be the best answer we've gotten on the show. Just throwing fucking customers under the bus.
So you check out my website and check out there. If you're a client that has wronged me, and it is up there as part of your portfolio page.
You know what's awesome, Chad, too? I'll tell you a little secret. So Keith and Johnny have this platform. And yes, Johnny's taught me not to be negative and not to go down that path, and I do a pretty good job of it. But people do sometimes forget that Uncle Keith has the platform. I got the microphone 5 days a week. So if you want to fuck me in the back, well, I might just have to fuck you in the front, in front of everybody else. So be nice. What's that?
Fair play.
Yeah, fair play. Brother, if someone shadowed Chad Hason for a week, What would be the most surprised to learn about the way you create brand stories?
Oh, well, that's a good one.
I get paid to ask big questions.
I don't know. How I create brand stories has so many different influences.
Oh, I know. It goes like this.
Yeah, they would be surprised how I can keep going, despite how much I've consumed. Honestly, I'm going to say this. I try to say this as much as possible because it's true. Anyone that follows me around and applauds my success would be shocked at how very little I do in order to be successful. I truly feel my skill set, certainly as a CEO, has been finding amazing people. It's cheesy, but my network is my net worth. And I think even to your point, when I'm trying to figure out a strategy, we say you can't write if you can't relate. And I have a shit ton of people all around me that relate to a ton of different industries and experiences. And I can draw from that. I think just the pure scope of what I draw into something in order to come to a conclusion would probably be a little bit surprising.
Chad, you're awesome, man. I'm a huge fan, brother. I really am. I'm a huge fan. How can folks connect with you, find you, Atlas Agency? How can folks engage with you? How can folks learn more from Chad Hason from the Atlas Agency, brother?
I mean, for the rest of the week after midnight, you can just kind of find me in a ditch. I'd appreciate help getting home. That would be great. But no, the traditional ways. I think I'm the only Chad Hason on earth, if you spell my name right. You can find me on LinkedIn. I'm fairly active there. Agencyatlas.ca. That's our website. You can also, there's a brand new page there for my book, as well as if you wanted to hire me as a speaker for your event. I'm going to do one more plug here. Brand as a Verb is the book. It's not coming out till August 1st, but it is, all the information about it is on the website.
Brand as a Verb, Chad Hason. Johnny, do you think we should invite him back when he has his book out there?
Excuse me for yawning in the middle of this. Holy shit.
Put you to sleep, John. Oh.
Dude, I'm telling you, we had a huge at our lake house. We had 18 people at our house for 4 days. So my wife and I are tired today.
So Chad, I'll answer on behalf of my brother Johnny. We'd love to have you back, man. When you got your book launch, we'd love to have you back in August. And I'm serious, man. You drop nuggets. I love your energy. I really do. I enjoy your energy. I love the nuggets you're dropping, the knowledge you're dropping, and I'd love to bring you back and have more conversation with you on more.
Well, and one other thing too, the way you present your information, just verbally, is very easy to follow.
Exactly, Johnny. I'm with you, brother. Yeah, I'm with you there.
Feeling good. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah,
absolutely, brother.
What do you got planned today, Chad? You hung out with us this morning. What do you got going on today, brother?
I got to go shake hands, drink beers, kiss a few babies.
Oh,
Stampede. It's all about networking. So I'm going to meet up with a few agency friends and some future clients. They just don't know yet.
Awesome. Well, listen, bud, all the love from Manitoba, all the love from California your way. Again, very grateful for your time with us this morning. And I'm looking forward to grabbing some coffee with you later and learning more about you and getting to know you further. Okay, pal?
Sounds awesome, guys. Thanks for the time.
Awesome, pal. All right, Chad. Chad's going to get out of here. And Jimmy, we got John a little longer today. I know that I didn't ask him when he had to leave, but he's been hanging out and just been quietly, patiently. I know he's just moving to his next hour before we get him out of here. B-Drive dropping 5 more gifts. Johnny, I got to tell you, man, Bernard, who I know you were pretty busy. I dropped that video in your feed here on the weekend. Bernard, the beekeeper, man. Check that out. When you get a second, check out my message I sent you. There's a video from Bernard fucking attacking bee nests, dude.
Oh, I saw. I saw it.
Shit, man, that's fascinating stuff. I kind of love that shit because it's neat to me. It's fascinating to me, right? And here's the funny thing too. I don't mind destroying wasp nests or not beehives, but wasp nests. And people are like, don't you get attacked? I'm like, no, I just got to be responsible. Go fucking poke it, shoot water at it, and have some fun with it. But Bernard gifting 5 Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends memberships. Bernard, you are awesome, man. Lot of gratitude your way. I appreciate you for that. Jimmy, before we get to the community corner, let's spend a couple minutes with our brother here and ask him what he's doing today besides sleeping.
Excuse me. I've got a day planned, just moving at a pace that I can keep up with today.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not surprised.
Yeah. So my late morning nap, maybe a little longer. We'll find out.
Yeah, or a little earlier today, maybe.
I've actually scheduled right till it has to happen at 11. So I mean, this is one of those days where I'm moving a little slow, but I don't need to unplug. It may not be my best day, but it's another day I showed up.
Well, that's what I love, right? And I knew you were a little tired today when I saw you show up here today, and I don't mean that as a negative; it's just a reality. But I like what you just said. Might not be the best day, but it's showing up, and that to me is the key message. Because what we talk about here every day is encouraging folks not to hit the snooze alarm, encouraging men to make good decisions, encouraging us to get after the big audacious goals. And guys, it's not always going to be a great day. Join us, talk sports, right? You're playing an 82 hockey game schedule. Do you think those guys are perfect for 82 games? No, right? And it's managing your schedule, it's managing your life and managing your body, isn't it, Johnny?
One day at a time, baby.
One day at a time. All right, Jimmy, let's get Johnny out of here. We'll get to the community corner segment, and we're going to keep rock and rolling. Brother, I appreciate you. We'll see you in less than 24, okay?
Have a good loop, brother.
All right. Jimmy, let's get him out of here. All right, guys. You're left with me and Jimmy. Last 10 minutes here of the show, 10 or so, we're going to get to the community corner. Jimmy, let's run the community corner starter, and let's begin the segment. All right. It's time for the community corner, where we connect LinkedIn and Substack on Mornings in Live with Keith and Friends. I see all your comments, guys. It's a different kind of show today. As you can see, we're working hard to increase the production value. So it's not just a bunch of talking heads nonstop. So we're weaving in entertaining clips, entertaining bits, intros, stingers, outros with the talking heads. So I appreciate your patience while we figure that out. Like I said, we haven't spent as much time in the comments as we usually do, but that's the reason. That's the reason. Well, here's my question for you guys. Have you ever felt like you're running on autopilot, repeating the same old routine, feeling ignored or fighting a battle with your own habits? Well, get ready, guys, because today, stories hit where it counts. Do they ever hit where it counts? Let's keep it going here. You ever look at your habits and wondered, why the hell can't I stop? Fuck, I have those problems. Even when I want to. Wow. Adam from Rehabitus takes us inside the mechanics of addiction. And fellas, this one pulls no punches. No, baby. Adam gets real. Turns out there's a war going on inside our own mind. One part screaming for relief, the other's chasing comfort, and logic isn't calling the shots. Adam breaks it down with a model from Smart Recovery, the cost-benefit analysis of addiction. It's all about mapping out why you keep doing what you do, even when you know it's wrecking you. The best part, once you drag your hidden motives out into the light, you can do something about them. And Adam says, self-examination isn't easy, but it's the price of real freedom. So guys, if you're serious about personal development, or you just want to break free from what's holding you back, I invite you to check out Adam's work, because it's worth paying attention to all of it. You in philosophy, that drops a bomb with the ugly truth about why people ignore you, even when you're kind, smart, and good. Guys, you think being smart, you think being nice is the ticket to being noticed? Turns out, it's not that simple. In today's world, just doing what you're told, being agreeable, keeping your head down, gets you filtered out by the tribal mind. Well, the article calls out, if you're too predictable, you disappear. People want to see authenticity, edge, maybe even a little, Jimmy, maybe a little fucking fire. So if you've been, right, like Chad Hason says, you don't want to do the F***K, then you're not being real. You're being fake. You're hiding behind. And I actually agree with Chad there. If you're not going to say it, then don't say it. Don't pretend to say it. You heard me. Say it or don't say it. Don't pretend to say it. But people want to see authenticity, as we're learning from the human philosophy. Stop trying to be liked. Start owning your space, because that's when people start paying attention. What happens when you draw a line on the sand for 60,000 people to see? Well, Anthony Natoli did just that. He went on LinkedIn. He told everyone he was losing 30 pounds, and spoiler alert, oh yeah, he actually did it. Lady Drew, he did it. He lost to 30 pounds. Anthony says, I feel good, but I'm far from done. The result, not just weight loss, but growth in every area, mentally, physically, emotionally. And this is why we're so bullish on public accountability, guys. It fucking works. It does. Put it out there. Float the balloon. Write it down. Make a public statement. Because Anthony's proof that when you show up for yourself, you get better everywhere, not just in the mirror. So, what's a goal you're willing to commit to publicly? I invite you to drop them in the comments. And let's keep it going, Jimmy on LinkedIn. Escape the loop. Are you liking or just hitting repeat? Wow, Ruta throws down a challenge for everyone stuck on the hamster wheel. She says, most people aren't living. They're just repeating over and over and over and over. Same year, same routine, same identity, different calendar date. What's the reality? Sound familiar? It's not because you love it, it's because it's safe. The tragedy, though, you don't even notice it's happening. So I invite you, if you want a healthy lifestyle, if you want to be more than just a guy with good intentions and no action, you have to break the pattern. It's about choosing growth over comfort, setting audacious goals, and refusing to settle for autopilots. There you have it. Real talk, real stories, and the kind of accountability that makes you check your own habits. If you want your story featured on the show, if you want your story talked about on the show, I invite you to follow us on Substack, inside Bappel.ai, and LinkedIn at Keith Billis, at Mornings in the Lab, and tag us in your next post. Gentlemen, stay sharp. Don't let another day run on repeat. Because if that repeat button isn't taking you closer to your goals, you got to get away from it. Okay, let's move it. Let's keep it going here. We're going to move on over to the Creator Spotlight. Jimmy, I'm ready to rock and roll. Let's do it. You do it. You do it. You don't hear this often. Make friends and have fun is a serious business role, but someone out there bet everything on that idea. He quit a stable job after being denied a raise, launched his first business from his mom's kitchen, and he never looked back. He went on to open 100+ healthy food locations, making quality choices accessible. When construction roadblocks showed up, he built a new company just to fix it. And then he started helping others do the same. This guy's a mentor, a leader, and he gives back to his community every step of the way. Awards, podcasts, new ventures. His track record speaks for itself. Meet Jeff Fenster, the entrepreneur, proving that real success is about people, not just numbers. He's a serial founder, podcast host, girl dad, and the kind of accountability partner every leader wishes they had. If you want to build real results, start with real relationships. I invite you to follow Jeff to learn. Jimmy, let's run the clip.
You don't hear this often in business. Make friends and have fun as a serious company rule. But what if that unconventional approach could build an empire? Most entrepreneurs chase numbers, metrics, and cold strategies, wondering why their teams lack passion and their growth feels hollow. Jeff Fenster proved this theory by building over 100 healthy food locations from his mom's kitchen, turning relationship-first thinking into measurable results. When construction roadblocks threatened everything, he built an entire company to solve the problem. Real success starts with authentic connections. Make friends, have fun, and watch your business transform.
It's Jeff. That's how it works, brother. Jeff, we'd love to have you on the show. Would love to have you on the show here, Jeff. So here's how it works. We've celebrated you today, but I want to hand you the Mornings in the Lab spotlight so you can bring the spotlight into the lab for the community corner and the creator spotlight and shine it on somebody next for the next community corner on the creator spotlight here on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends. All right, we're going to get to the next one here, guys, over on the... let's see here. Just got to open up my notes. Jimmy, let's run the next one, brother, on the community corner.
What happens when a Harvard-trained doctor loses 20% of his body weight and every medical expert runs out of answers? Most of us trust the system completely. We follow doctors' orders, take prescribed medications, and hope for the best. But what do you do when that system fails you? Nick Norwitz discovered that breakthrough health solutions don't come from waiting for someone else's research. This Oxford PhD turned his own body into a laboratory, revolutionizing metabolic health science. The lesson? Sometimes you have to become your own advocate. Stop waiting for permission to take control of your health. Start experimenting today.
Didn't set out to be a medical trailblazer. He just wanted to survive. At 18, his own body nearly broke him. First with bone disease, then with brutal gut problems that left him gaunt and hopeless. Standard medicine couldn't help. So, what did he do? He didn't quit. Nick refused to quit. He turned himself into an experiment, found answers where others gave up, and clawed his way back to health with relentless curiosity and grit. That's why Nick is the people trust. He's been the scared patient, not just the doctor. Now, with every video and research paper, he gives hope to others who feel stuck and invisible. So Nick, the guy who people trust, is invited to Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. Nick, we'd love to have you here on the show, brother. We're celebrating you today, and now I want to give you the light. I want to give you the light, Nick, so you can take it and shine light on somebody in your world, so we can bring them into the show and give them the creator spotlight, just like we're giving you the creator spotlight on this morning's Community Corner on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. All right. 2 hours down. Looks like the show is almost over, Jimmy. Guys, even though the show's over, you guys can still join the conversation. Jimmy, is Yeti around with our phone number? 431-300-3005. If Yeti's around, let's get Yeti up there with that phone number, 431-300-3005. The only morning show to help you guys get your ass out of bed, hit those big goals.
You can join the show live right now. The number is 431-300-3005. Call, text, or leave a voicemail.
There it is. That's exactly how it sounds. The White Yeti.
Join the Mornings in the Lab community by hitting subscribe. If you pay, Keith promises to get me better clothes.
Yeah, apparently so. Apparently I'm going to get the guy some new clothes. That's what he thinks. That's exactly what he thinks. Is that the case, Jimmy? And then I think we got a store too, Yeti. Do we have a store for sale? Do we have products in our store, Yeti?
It's at the morning.store. Keith, I might as well do everything for you.
All right, guys. That brings our 2-hour morning extravaganza to a close. Bernard, B-Drive, I appreciate you, man. Great show, brother. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's experiment. What's the experiment? Making a TV show right in front of you guys in real time. Yeah, Bernard, I would love to do a call on some merch this week. Let's set it up, brother. Send me a text, and we'll get that call happening. I'd love to have a chat with you for sure. Oh, dude, you know what? Just send me a text here after the show. My availability is. Here's the reality, guys. I got all the time in the world for my Mornings in the Lab community. Yes, hear me say that again. I got all the time in the world for mine, Keith's, Johnny, yours, our. I got all the time in the world for our community. So Bernard, drop me a text. I think you got my private number there, so drop me a text. It ends with the 46s, and we'll get after it and have a chat and so forth. And so let's look around the comments here and see who's up here today. So Lady Drew, I appreciate you've been here with us all day today. Very much appreciate you hanging out with us. And guys, if you missed day 2 here today, Matt Roof got after it. Uncommon kindness rising. He got it. He did it today, day 2. And I enjoyed his experience. Matty got day 1, part 2, the redo last night. Here's the reality, guys. Matt's getting up and after it every single day. He's stepping into something many folks won't do. What is it? A daily non-negotiable commitment. So if you're looking for something to help you get going in the morning before you get into the morning show, I strongly encourage you to check out Kindness Rising, 7:30 Eastern time, right here on the Mornings in the Lab channel and over there on Roofy's Kindness Rising channel, and giving you good, positive advice, positive information, positive nuggets to help you start your day. Then you end up in the circus. Yeah, this one right here with myself, Yo Uncle Keith, and John Anderson, producer Jimmy, producer Melissa, and the whole gang here. So I encourage you guys to check out that show and then come back for us at 8 o'clock Eastern time. We'll be here tomorrow. We will be here tomorrow, as always. I don't know if we have any guests. I haven't checked yet. No, I've been too focused on getting through the show here today. And we are going to keep making the show better, guys. So I appreciate your patience while we are adding these clips, adding these segments, trying to add more humor to the show and leaning into the tools that we are using so we can continue to build this experience as we look to add a third hour to the show in August. You know what I'm going to do here, Jimmy? Oh, there he is. Oh, yes. How did I forget this one? Tomorrow. Oh, I got to pause, man. Tomorrow's a big show for me, guys. To my community, to our community, to the Mornings in the Lab community. Tomorrow's a big show. I want you guys to show up. Michael Remus, the founder, one of the co-founders of Winnipeg Sports Talk, a local Winnipeg media company. The guy shows up for work a number of years ago on a Friday. They turn the radio station off. He's like, what the fuck? We got no job. We got no radio station in Winnipeg. What's he do? Sits down with his partner, starts a brand new sports conversation in Winnipeg. Now Winnipeg Sports Talk, the biggest conversation for sports here in Winnipeg. But the story is not about that. The story is for all of you guys, girls out there going, oh man, I'm stuck. Where do I start? Everything just got taken away from me. Well, you know what Remus did? And Andrew Hustler Patterson, they got up, they got after it. They made decisions. They started moving. They created momentum. And now they have the biggest talk show for sports in Manitoba. Michael Remus, Winnipeg Sports Talk tomorrow, 8:15 Eastern time. Will join me on the show to have that conversation. So I'm excited about that one. I invite you guys to come in, bring the questions, and we'll get after it with Michael. And of course, 7:30 Eastern time tomorrow, Matthew Roof, Kindness Rising, right here on the channel. Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends. On behalf of everybody, Bernard, I'll talk to you later. Lady Drew, I appreciate you. Holroyd, I appreciate you. Batshit, everybody who joins today. Lots of love from me to you guys. I'm out of here. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
What's your secret, man?
Skip snooze, tune into Keith, John, and Friends, 8 a.m. YouTube.